Alright, welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. This is your host, King Bucho. Alright, stop the fucking music. Alright, people, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that, man? I told you guys, this guy has power. Alright, and this is something that might happen with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Alright? I'm telling you guys. This guy isn't Paul Malignaggi. Neither is Tyson Fury. But anyways, let's talk about this fucking fight. Whew. Well, by the way, in the chat we have Virtuoso, Eddie, the Shepherd of Sons, of course Steven Schneider. Who else we have? Tommy Temper. Yo, what's up, man? The guy from Twitter. What up, guys? Well, what the fuck was that? Holy shit. Man. What? You know, at the beginning, it was a close fight for, let's see, the first 4 rounds, you could say. I gave rounds 2 and 3 to Tony Bellew. I could have maybe given him round 4, but nah. Usyk started to pick it up, man. Wait, hold on. I sent some invites, so we should have some people coming over. What's up, Parmley? Alright, let's read some comments. Steven Schneider says, Bellew did what a lot of other fighters don't. Actually try to win when they know their opponent is technically better. That's true. I mean, you gotta give credit to Tony Bellew. He could have just shelled up and moved the whole time. Try to go 12 rounds. But by the way, like, did Tony Bellew get a bit tired? Or how the fuck did Usyk started to land those left hooks? Because that started to come out of nowhere. It was kind of gradual. And man, damn, that was fucked. Well, when Tony Bellew fell, I was like, that's it, man. I wrote on my scorecard, I just wrote over. He wasn't getting up. Parmley says, but Bellew looked drained. Well, he looked strong at the beginning, then started to get a bit tired, but that was normal. I don't know if he looked drained. When did he look drained at the beginning of the fight? Like body-wise? Tommy Temper says Bellew gassed out. Yeah, that's what I think. Started to gas out a bit. Boxing Style says Usyk is better than expected. Hats off. Well, listen. Here's the thing. Most of us, if not all of us, I think all of us, predicted an Usyk win. Now, the question was whether he knocks him out or it goes to a 12-round decision. This fight wasn't gonna raise Usyk's level. What do you mean level? Like credentials, credibility. Well, he already has credibility. I mean credentials, pound for pound credentials. Let's put it that way. Okay, so this fight wasn't gonna raise Usyk's pound for pound credentials, but the way in which he could have defeated Usyk was gonna play a factor in, you know, can he make it in the heavyweight division? Now we know he has fucking pop, man. Well, I kind of knew that, man. Sorry, but it's true, man. Told you guys, this guy has power, all right? And so this is the question that was answered in this fight. Now, of course, we all said he was gonna win, and you know, this wasn't gonna be a fight that was gonna make him into a Hall of Fame or anything. But it did show us that, hey, maybe this guy is better than what some of you guys thought he was. But Graham in the chat says, how well he do at heavyweights? Yeah, that's a question, man. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Like, we're gonna be talking about the fight, and then obviously what's in the near future. Well, I'm sure some heavyweights are gonna kind of be weary of Usyk's power now. Alright, let me just do some things here, guys. I'm on Twitter, and I'm gonna send Well, I'm gonna post the link for the show. All right, that's done. Now we're just gonna wait. All right. Damn it, what the fuck? All right. Phew. Virtuoso says, Butcher, that left hook from Usyk could have hurt AJ if he slows down. Man, that's... Yeah. Man, listen, just think about it. How much was he weighing in tonight? Usyk was... like 215, I'd say. How much is he gonna put when he moves up to heavyweight? An extra what? The thing is, he can put on a lot of weight. He's gonna be a bit slower. Carnival says, watch the whole ad for you guys. No power, zero power. What are you talking about, man? Marcodian Elite says, what it really will help with. Fighting in a huge stadium in a coastal crowd. I knew he fights his opponent's backyard, but when the UK fans come out, they do so in force. Good experience. Yeah, well, when Usyk fought in Latvia, that was a crazy-ass crowd as well, man. Actually, they were... Well, yeah, of course, Usyk against... was it Brady's was a much more exciting fight. So the crowd was really going nuts. So, yeah, but in Latvia, it's also a hard place to fight, I think. That crowd was wild. Man, listen, Usyk, man. Alright, let's start writing down his accomplishments. Alright, guys, give me Usyk's accomplishment. Olympic gold medal. So that's one. And all 4 major belts. Ring magazine, whatever. I know some people think it has lost its prestige, but he has that belt. Or he's a lineal champion. Shit. If he moves to heavyweight now and manages, he's still undefeated, by the way. Okay, so at the end we'll talk about that. But now let's say he unifies the heavyweight division. Jesus. Let's say he gets all 4 belts, which is not... it's possible, because the belts are starting to unify. I mean, Joshua has 3, and there's 1 fucking floating around there with Wilder and Fury. So let's say he wins the heavyweight championship, the lineal heavyweight championship, and then retires undefeated. Now, does that put him above... Like, where does that fucking... that would be crazy, man. If Usyk accomplishes all that, man. Alright, hold on. We have 2 on the line. Hold on. Introduction.
I wasn't bad, though.
I told you what's going to happen, Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen because...
Stu, what's up? And what the fuck did you just watch?
I watched a very good fight.
Yeah.
And I did tell you that Tony Bellew is a very smart fighter. And you're not just going to walk forward and nail him and get him out of there. He's tricky. He's hard to work out. And it took Usyk a few rounds to work out. I think just the pure pressure of Usyk, he mentally drained you as well. Not just physically, because he's just... That's hard work, keeping a guy like that off you constantly. He's very clever, very sharp with his punches, and his footwork. It's just mentally draining having that coming at you constantly. And I think after 4 rounds, I said to my friend that's sitting here with me now, we've just watched it, had a few cans, and I said to my friend, after round 4, blowing hard, and he started to feel sorry for himself. And I said to my friend, this will be over quick. And I could see the stoppage coming, but Usyk, he struggled in there at times with Bellew's craftiness. it took him a while to work Bellew out. Bellew's, like I said, Bellew's a lot better than what people give him credit for. You know, very crafty, very smart fighter, and he was doing good work. I mean, I think I had him after 6 rounds. I think I had it 3-all. So he was in the fight, but you could just see Usyk was stepping up the gears. And Tony Bellew had been in 5th gear. He didn't have no more gears to step up. Where Usyk was plodding along in 2nd gear, working Bellew out. And then when he stepped up the gears, Bellew started to blow and then started to take. It was a devastating finish as well. Do you know what I mean? A devastating
You love your
finish.
gears.
But yeah, a real good night of boxing.
You love your gears. No, yeah, exactly. I gave Tony Bellew 2 rounds, maybe 3. The 4th, maybe. So, yeah, like you said, Usyk, you could tell, man, he was... he had more tools to his fucking game. He was plotting. He was getting hit by the right hand.
Yeah.
Much too often.
But Bellew was obviously trying to walk Usyk onto that right hand. And the straight punches from Usyk wasn't working. And he had to adjust. It took him a few rounds to adjust. And he started turning the straight punches into half hook sort of thing. He started hooking round, and they were catching Bellew because Bellew was like using a bit of a shoulder roll thing. And I think once the punches started to come around the guard, they started to land, and Bellew just started to wear down. I think he was loading up on his punches, and I think you can only load up on punches for so long before you start to blow. And after 4 or 5 rounds, I could just see only one winner.
Yeah, when he went down, I knew it was over. It was an amazing knockout.
The funny thing about it, Sky are talking about like Coldwell, did him a favour by throwing in the towel. I mean, what towel? There's no towel there. That guy ain't getting up.
Oh man,
that was a devastating KO. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I was expecting Usyk to outbox Bellew and dominate the fight, but I weren't expecting him to stop.
Yeah,
Bellew.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into what this fight showed us about Usyk, because we all knew he was gonna win, but fights always tell you something different.
Yeah, but
something
I was just
new.
saying to my friend, we can't judge this, against Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua hasn't got that craftiness that Bellew has. Do you know what I mean? He's a lot easier to hit. He's more flat-footed, so you can't really judge Bellew fight, against an Anthony Joshua fight. So just a totally different fight altogether. Like I said before, let's not rush Usyk and get him in there with Joshua straight away. Let him get used to this heavyweight division, because I think if he jumps in there with Joshua now, man, it could be a hard night for him. So let's get him used to the heavyweight division, build him up with a couple of good fights, and then let's make this fight. It's going to be a good fight because Usyk is a special talent. Number 3 on my pound for pound list.
All right, let's get abstract boxing.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What do we mean when we say throwing punches with bad intention? We mean we want to seriously hurt people.
Yo, what's up,
we're
man?
back to the old intro, man.
That was the old intro. Oh, shit. It's true. Anyways,
that's all right. Don't matter. Can you guys hear me all right? I don't know how well this connection is going to stand up, because I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm just using my phone, so
I can hear you very clearly.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's probably better than Wi-Fi.
Nice one, man. So how you guys doing? All right?
Yeah, man. Great fight. I mean, the knockout was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a while. Like, there's a similar sort of misconception with Usyk and Lomachenko too. Like, the feather fisted and all of this shit. It's like these guys have just got a different mentality. That if they know they can just absolutely school you and outbox you, they're happy to just show off their ability and their tricks and their tools and stuff. They're not necessarily, sort of like hell bent on knocking you out. Of course, every fighter wants to get you out of there if they can, but they're not as hell bent on it as some fighters are. And I think that's created a bit of a misconception. Like, you can't punch and whatnot. I mean, look, but knockout punching is as much about delivery and technique as it is about power. And the way, like, that left hook was just a thing of beauty. And Stu touched on it. He made those adjustments. He started going to the body. That's another thing he did. He started going to the body, and I think that body work was kind of telling. It was kind of taking it out of him, and Bellew did start to look sort of deflated a little bit. And then that left hook, it reminded me of the Lomachenko Rocky Martinez, only obviously it was a left hook rather than a right hook. Remember that right hook where Lomachenko he threw the uppercut and then the right hook together to knock Martinez out. It was a similarly thrown left hook, left cross, whatever you want to call it. Like as Stu said, he started to change the way he was throwing the punches. He just made the adjustments he needed to do, which is kind of, for me, one of the big things that sort of differentiate like a top class fighter, a world class fighter with an elite fighter. And Usyk's an elite fighter, man. Bellew's got. I don't think Bellew's got anything to be ashamed of. He's clearly the older man. He's clearly the less talented guy. You know, in the autumn of his career, and he was competitive with Usyk for a bit.
I thought Bellew boxed beautifully. It's just
I thought he boxed really well. He was countering him really well. Yeah. Some of the counter rights were really, really nice from Bellew. And you know, he's got nothing to be ashamed of himself about. Like, it was a decent performance, but what he came up against tonight was a very, very special fighter. It's as simple as that. Like, there's footage of me on YouTube way before Usyk was like even a world champion, saying that he's going to clean up at cruiserweight and he'll probably move up to heavyweight. And I wouldn't be, not saying he necessarily will, but it wouldn't at all surprise me if he did the same at heavyweight. He's a really special fighter for me.
Yeah, but let's give this guy a chance to adapt to the size difference, because, you know, at the end of the day, he fought Tony Bellew in there. You know, it was a great performance, but can you imagine him fighting Baby Miller at 300 pounds? You know, this guy, he's got to adapt to fighting big guys, because the heavyweight division's got some real big guys in there. So let's not push him like Low Place was trying to do the other night. Push him straight into Joshua.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I wouldn't. I don't even particularly want to see him fight White first. I think one fight and then White for me, because, you know, these are big fucking guys at heavyweight. Like, it's a bit of a difference. Like, you know, so he needs to be able to feel a big puncher's power at heavyweight. He needs to adjust his own body, because he's going to have to put on a bit of weight himself.
I don't think we learned much tonight, because Usyk wasn't fighting his usual game. He had to go and press the fight because Bellew was on the back foot, sort of thing, just trying to land that right hand. And I think Usyk didn't really have to use his footwork. He was planting his feet quite flat-footed at times, because he knew he was going to catch up to Bellew eventually. But when he's in there with a big guy, he's going to be on the back foot boxing. You know, it's just a different. You can't really judge how Usyk's going to do at heavyweight by this fight. That's what I'm
No, you can't. Well, Bellew's not a heavyweight anyway.
All right, official boxing scorecard. Let's get him in here.
Typical of the current heavyweights, like, is he?
Let's get the official boxing scorecard. Yo, what's up? Your take.
Hi guys. So I enjoyed the fight. It was kind of difficult to find the good stream. My streaming links in the 6th round and the 1st round, I couldn't see the most of them, but I mean the whole round. But it was a very interesting fight. The thing is, I was watching the Sky Sports thing, and I was surprised of how much they were sucking Bellew off. I mean, he put on a great performance, and he had I think he had a great game plan. It really surprised me of how composed he was, and had a good game plan and showed the way to box against Usyk. But I, I I just can't understand the judges and people who had him leading, because let's say out of the first 3 rounds, which were close, I gave him 2 and 1 even, and then like fourth and fifth round, I gave them to Usyk. Fourth, fifth, and sixth round were also closed, but but for Usyk, I just think that a lot of people, including the judges, there were.
Yeah, I agree.
They got under impression that Bellew was doing better than it was really the case, because of the people screaming every time Bellew landed a punch, despite that in the same rounds. Usyk landed more shots. He was more active, and his shots were as good as Bellew's. Don't get me wrong. His tactic to lead with his right, with his straight right, was really good against Usyk. And I think Usyk showed that he has trouble. Since forever, I could see Usyk having trouble when his opponents go to his body, and so I think it was great tactic to employ the leading right straight to the body or upstairs. He was in the first couple of rounds, 3-4 rounds, he was like Usyk could not get his timing right, and he was getting caught constantly with that right upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
But sorry, it won't be for too long. But I just have a couple of more things to say. So, see, Bellew, he's a great counter puncher, but I'm not great, very good in his own right. But he was one trick pony, and that's all he was able to do. It was just the question of time of when Usyk is going to upgrade, to put in a higher work rate. And
but the thing is, I think the feints, I think the actual feints that Bellew was doing was, it was troubling Usyk at times. He was struggling to find his range. It took him like 3 rounds. It took him 3 rounds to find his range with Bellew. Because, like I said, Bellew's a crafty fighter, and I do want to apologise. As a Brit, I do want to apologise for the commentary.
Thank you.
If you had to listen to the guy, I mean, my friend, the guy I've got here, my friend, he's a Bellew. He wanted Bellew to win, and he was even saying, "How the fuck did Carl Froch have Bellew at 3 rounds after 8?" I mean,
can I just say, please don't do that. Apologising for the fucking Sky commentary team, because if you do it, you're going to have to do it every fucking week.
Yeah,
always like that.
Listen, I actually was on Malinagi's side for once in my life. When Malinaji said, Malinaji said, "Let's calm down here a bit." Usyk's won the last 2 rounds. Me and my friend's a Bellew fan. My friend said after 4 rounds, Usyk just took over completely. And I said the same. You could see Bellew was fun. I mean, they had Bellew at 3 rounds after 8.
Yeah. Sorry, Stu. Just one thing. The thing with this fight was that Usyk was getting hit a lot, getting caught a lot in the first 3-4 rounds. So, and the crowd was going crazy anytime Bellew landed something. So they were forgetting the fact that Usyk was landing even more than Bellew.
But to be fair,
they were ignoring it.
Yeah. No, but let's be fair. Let's keep it down the middle, right? Tony Bellew was fighting a great fight, and Bellew won at.
Well,
It was 3-3 after 6. It was 3-3 after 6. You could say Usyk was winning them early rounds, but he wasn't. He was getting at times he was struggling to find his range, and he was getting countered a lot. Tony Bellew, it's just the pure pressure of Usyk. It's a mental thing. He just brings it onto you constantly.
Well, and some people say that Bellew started getting tired, but hold on.
Yeah, we need Sky commentary. They're tied to Matchroom, yeah. And you know, at first glance, you might look and see, oh well, it's just the crowd going mad. But I've seen fights where, like, it's been in a certain fighter's backyard, and the crowd have been going mad for one fighter, but that fighter hasn't been a Matchroom fighter, and the Sky commentary team are still sort of like heavily biased towards Matchroom fighters. That are like Frotch, a lot of them guys they're just company men. They follow a narrative. Like
Carl Frotch, right? Carl Frotch sees a different fight to everybody on the planet.
Yeah,
he's in this zone of his own, and he's just seen.
He gave the first round a draw.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
To be fair, though, my friend who's a Bellew fan, he said the same. He gave that a draw. So boxing's a very odd. I just said to my friend, right, I think boxing should have 5 judges because it just.
I think they should watch it in a soundproof room on screens on monitors.
5 judges. if one guy fucks it up, if you get an Adelaide Bird in there, at least you've got 4 people to cancel her out. I mean, when it's free, all you need is a bad egg, and then someone that sees a completely different fight, and you've got a robbery on your hands. But with 5, I just think it just helps with the robberies, and that's what I would do because. I mean, when you look at the scorecards before the fight was stopped, Bellew was up on the cards on two cards. He was down on 1 and up on 2.
All right, hold on. Hold on. I need to introduce some new people. Yeah, no problem. All right. Okay.
Depending upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though?
Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
All right, hold on. And we also have corruption in boxing. His introduction. Oh, hold on. Damn it. All right.
Let me break it down for you fucking retards. I'm very happy I placed the large bet as well, just to prove that word is bond. But so who's standing tall now, you little motherfuckers? Let me.
And we also have Apology Man, who's back, and yeah.
Speak of the devil, and it shall appear.
She just wanted the drama and you two to fight over her. That's what women do.
Your punishment must be masturbate.
I lost respect for all of you.
Bitches are stupid. I treat them like shit. That's how you get one to eat a dick. Never be sweet to.
All right. Let's go. Let's start with Precise. He got here first. Yo, what's up? And give us your take on the fight, please.
Hello, everybody. Hope you can hear me all right.
Yeah, man.
The take on the fight, like what everybody else is basically saying. Tony did really well in the first 3 rounds, and then Usyk adjusted and broke him down, knocked him out. I didn't think it was a one-punch KO. I think Bellew was already hurt and he was on weak legs, and that shot finished him off, which isn't to diminish the punching power of Usyk, but let's not overblow it either. It's good power. I don't know. I enjoyed the fight for what it was. I think Usyk was fighting aggressively the same way he fought in Latvia, because just like in Latvia where they try to rob him, they were going to rob his ass in the UK. So he was fighting to get the KO. And if that's how you fight, you're going to take chances. You're going to possibly get outboxed early. But then, obviously he adjusted. He figured him out, and he knocked his ass out. I particularly liked how, like, Bellew had that WWE bouncing off the ropes right hand that was he really has really good off timing on that right hand, and it was working for a while, but then Usyk stepped through his right hand inside of that right hand, and it was just whizzing right by him, and, broke him down, knocked him out. Not much to say. Didn't expect the knockout, but...
Exactly. Were you surprised by the knockout? And does that knockout tell you something that you didn't know about Usyk?
No, I mean, I was always talking about how he has very good punching power. It's just that he's fighting top level guys that aren't allowing him to really open up like that. You know what I mean? When he fought Briedis, he had to be very defensive and careful. So, no, I just keep. I don't know that I learned anything new about Usyk, but I just keep seeing him adjust, and that just reaffirms my belief that he's a really good fighter. That's
Yeah,
really
people
it.
are
But
people are criticising Usyk performance, which I clicked onto the Boxing Voice for about 30 seconds, and I had to come off before I fucking pulled all my hair out. But I saw some of the comments, and they were actually criticising Usyk for. I don't think that is the Usyk that we usually see. I just think that's a Usyk that's just walking forward, knowing that Bellew's blowing, knowing it's a matter of time before he gets him out of there. But let's be real, we've got to give Tony Bellew credit. You know, when people saying, "Oh, the Brits were going to rob him," and that, like, Bellew did enough good work in there for people to have him up on certain cards. It's only like people that know their boxing properly that had Usyk. I mean, but you could see a lot of people why they'd have Bellew up on the cards. He was doing a lot of good stuff in there, and he frustrated Usyk at times. It took Usyk 3 rounds to find his range, and like I said, to boxing style, Bellew is a very smart fighter. That's probably his biggest strength. He's intelligent, he's a smart fighter, and he gave Usyk problems. But Usyk
I thought he won 3 rounds.
Yeah,
all I was able to give him was 3 rounds.
Yeah, I gave him 3
him
rounds
too.
the first. Yeah, and I gave him after, like I said, after 6, I had him 3-3. But certain people could have given Bellew another couple of rounds. But when Cole Froch has got him 3 rounds up after 8, that's just disgraceful.
All right, let's get into let's do corruption. How are you? And give us your take, man, please.
Yeah, what up, Busho? Shout out to the panelists and everybody in the chat. All right, I'm going to try and give a bit of a technical breakdown. You know me.
Yeah.
Now Bellew's strategy from the outset, I think, was crystal clear. His modus operandi was trying to knock Usyk out, and that is why I think he didn't try and engage and try and box. He resorted to trying to use a little bit more lateral movement, try and be stationary, and sort of uncoil the punches from a blind position where he's got a half shoulder over, where Usyk can't really see the right hand. And if you look at some of the early right hands which connected, Tony's belly, his head was shifting to the left, so he wasn't even really looking at the target, and he was just firing a straight punch from behind that shoulder, which was landing and almost surprising Usyk. But Usyk's problem now, we talk about playing either the hunter or the hunted, and Precise is absolutely right. He had to try and come out and try and force the action because he knew Bellew's strategy straight away was to try and knock him out. But we talked about yesterday trying to establish his jab over Bellew's lead left hand, and he couldn't do that initially because Bellew wasn't engaging and coming forward, so he had a problem with distance straight away. So that lead hand he was pouring out wasn't really connected. It was used more as a bait, more as to try and preoccupy Bellew and see if he had any openings for his left hand. But because Bellew was using a little bit more upper body movement and he wasn't square as he normally is, he's got that half shoulder over, straight punches were a problem for Usyk initially. Now, he did one wise thing. He was able to keep circling to the right to take away Bellew's left hand, his left hook, and he did a very good job in that. But the way Bellew's defensive position was that he was uncoiling counterclockwise, so that right hand was able to come over, so he was able to spin out sometimes when Usyk would go to his right, and then he was able to connect with that right hand. But I've managed to look at some of those right hands that Bellew's fired where the commentators were getting a little bit exaggerated. Usyk was able to dip underneath some of those jabs, so it looked like it really connected with some virulent force and caused him trouble. But no, he was dipping right underneath. He was really trying to sort of change levels and get right underneath the punches. So some of them right hands did not connect, sufficiently. That would have.
Yeah, but don't you think when they were trading in the pocket, that Bellew was like coming off better at times? Not every time, but at times Bellew was getting the better shots in. But I just don't think they were affecting Usyk at any moment. Usyk never looked hurt, never looked bothered. I think this guy's going to take a bit to stop me just by his chin alone. Never mind trying to hit him.
Yeah, and Stu, you remember I spoke about that yesterday. I said this guy has got a very good chin. He's taken hellacious punches, you know, mean overhand, left hand hooks, uppercuts from, you know, all of the other guys in the cruiserweight tournament. So I always knew he had a very good chin. And when I saw him in 2008, when he was campaigning that super heavyweight before he came back down to heavyweight for the 2012 Olympics, he was taking big shots back then when, you know, he didn't sufficiently bulk up that well. His body shape didn't look that good back then. So it's taken him a little while fluctuating.
He looks great. He looks great now, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He's developed. His training camp more has been to develop that chest, really get that barrel-chested sort of look, and the shoulders, and you know.
I think what a lot of casuals will not understand is that there's a saying in the UK about Tony Bellew. I mean, he's a bit of an arsehole, let's be real. And not many people. I mean, he's got a decent fan base, but not many people really like him. But there's one thing about Tony Bellew that he's fucking very awkward. He's a very awkward fighter, and when you write him off, he's at his best. And Usyk, I don't think Usyk realised how crafty Tony Bellew is, because Tony Bellew's a lot better than what you think. When you're in there with him, that's when you realise how good he is. Because you look at him on tapes, you think, he's useless. But when you're in there with him, you realise how crafty and how hard he is to hit. And I think Usyk realised that, and it took him like 3 or 4 rounds. But once he found the pace and started changing his punching technique, because the straight punches were not landing at all, he had to sort of start turning them into hooks, and they were landing around the guard, and they were starting to hurt Bellew. And it was only a matter of time. But let's give you credit here.
That's it. You know, he started working the body, sort of gauging that Bellew was beginning to. Because, you know, when you're loading up your punches, when your objective is to knock out your opponent, you know, missing those punches will obviously deplete a lot more energy. Plus, Bellew has obviously come back down from heavyweight to cruiser, losing 30 pounds. So all of those factors will definitely exacerbate any sort of strength and conditioning issues he would have had. Plus, he's had obviously a long career as well. So all of those aspects.
Yeah, I don't think we can use that as an excuse, because Bellew's not a heavyweight. Let's be real. He's not heavyweight. He is a cruiserweight, and I just think even at heavyweight, the same thing would have happened. You know, that was constant pressure, and you know that's hard to. When you've got a guy like Usyk coming at you, cutting off the ring, there's just no time for any fucking breathers, and it's just mentally draining as well as physically. And I think he just broke Bellew down, and you could see it on Bellew's face. He was in the crowd saying, I'm all right, after 5 rounds, and I just thought, it's over.
Hey, Lopez in the fucking chat says, I knew he was... Stevenson stopped Bellew in round 6, but Usyk stopped him in round 8. So,
yeah, well,
Stevenson...
No one cares, man. Fucking hell.
Oh, what is wrong with that guy? Bellew, I mean, like, Bellew 6'3", 6'4", and was fucking killing himself to get... I mean, what kind of a comment is that? Seriously.
I'm choking on my own laugh. Oh, God.
God, man.
All right, I mean, hold on.
Lopez, don't take our word for it. Just take Tony Bellew's, in the post-fight interview, said that Usyk is the best man he's ever shared a ring with. So just take his word for it. I think he knows a bit more than we do.
Oh man! All right, let's get into the chat. Who do we have here? Cameron. So introduction. Damn it! Ah, I got it.
Fuck mate, it's life man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Because everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
Yo, what's up? And give us your take, please.
Well, what's going on, man? Can you hear me all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sweet. What's going on? Apologies. What's going on, Astro Chats, man?
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's going on? Yeah, I was impressed with both fights tonight. I thought Bellew did a lot better than we all thought. Yeah, I think we all expected Usyk to win the fight. I actually predicted before the fight, I thought Usyk would stop him in the 10th. I think Bellew would have gave it a go, but he just got outclassed. And when it came to later rounds, and for me, I thought Bellew looked good. I mean, Bellew for me, he's improved as a fighter over the years. He's never been the best of the best, but he's improved as a fighter over the years, no doubt about it. If you go back, went back and watched his fight against the Cleverly rematch earlier on. And he's improved heaps since that fight. But he was just in there tonight with a guy who's one of the greatest cruiserweight champions of all time in the midst of a great title reign. So there's no shame in Bellew losing to Usyk. I think Bellew, if that really is his last fight, he's got nothing to be ashamed of, man. He had us all. I mean, I was on Twitter during the fight, and all of us were kind of thinking, we all had Bellew 3 up, and I thought, what is going on here? I mean, I expected Bellew to give it a go, but not take the first 3 rounds. I had Usyk. I think I had him 1 up before I think I had him 4-3 up before heading into the last round before he stopped him. But no, I think Usyk just a level above. But fair play to Bellew, man. He's retiring, and if he's retiring, he's overachieved. But fair play to the guy, man. I thought he did. I thought he did himself proud tonight.
Yeah, then first 3 rounds though, Cameron. I think why Usyk struggled because Tony Bellew just wouldn't let Usyk set his feet. Every time he went to set, he took a step to the left or a step to the right, just constantly moving, feinting, and it takes a while to work that out. And that's, like I said, he's a crafty fighter. So I mean, I think that's why Usyk struggled the first 3 rounds.
Bellew, I'm sad to see him retire. Go on, apology.
Oh no, go ahead, Cameron, because I'm going to take a while. But go ahead.
Am I breaking up just because I had a few of you break up? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Bellew for me, it's a shame to see him retire. I understand why he's retiring. I mean, he's made a lot of money. He won that Goodest in the world title. He beat Hay. He went in there with, for me, I don't do pound for pound, but Usyk for me is #1 pound for pound fighter on the planet. That's all I really go by. But I think Bellew, if he was to stick around, I think he'd give a lot of cruiserweights trouble. I'd like to see him with some good cruiserweights. I think there's some still good fights out there for him, but when it's time, right? He's got his health there, so credit. I've never been the biggest Bellew fan, but what he's done, he's overachieved, man. I mean, in terms of heavyweight.
You're breaking a little bit.
You're breaking up now.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Tony Bellew in a boxing ring again. That's for sure.
No, not after that knockout. Right. Apology wants to say something.
If his wife didn't want him to get in a boxing ring before that fight, I mean, just guaranteed she will divorce his ass, man, because that was a savage KO, man.
Savage. All right, Apology, go ahead.
Yeah, I was giving my take on the fight. I just watched it before I came on, and yeah, I mean, Bellew did better than I expected, to be honest. I thought it would be a bit more wider, like a 12 rounds, like similar to Garcia. But the thing that Bellew did, every time Usyk would step out to the southpaw, Bellew would like step back and move out, and at the beginning was working for him because that's how you counter southpaw stepping out of your lead foot. You just step back, and then they have to reset. And also, he was throwing that right hand with awkward timing, like Stu said earlier. So Usyk was like bewildered. But then, as the fight got on, Usyk obviously figured him out, started to walk him down, and just people like fighters like Usyk and Lomachenko has that pressure, that physical and mental pressure, the constant fades, the constant punches, and it just wore on Bellew until he stopped him.
All right. Who else is there? Boxing Style. You want to give us your take on the fight?
What's up, guys?
What
How you guys doing?
Great, man.
Cool. Yeah, man. The fight, I said decision, right? It went to I still said Usyk is going to beat him by decision, but they're going to rob him. But it looks like it was going that direction, right? For a moment there, until he caught him. He caught him more than once, actually. He caught him a couple of times. His legs were wobbling and shit with his left hand. I keep confusing. The southpaw has his strong hand. His left side. I keep saying right hand. His left hand, he did a lot of like unexpected timed left hooks on him, especially that when that bell rang, right? And then he hit him right when the bell rang. That kind of shit drained the fuck out of Bellew. He did not expect that. Bellew has condition. You could see that in the Hay fight. He's lasting. It's just those unexpected left hands, that hooks. They're not even straight left hands. They're just hooks.
Yeah, but Hay didn't bring that pace though, bro. That's the difference.
Yeah, I know that, but it did not. Hay did not. I mean, not Hay. Bellew did not surprise me at all. Who actually surprised me more was actually Usyk. The way he adapted after that first 3 rounds. I know he was nervous. You could tell in the first round, the second, third, and then he just figured him out. He just surprised me. And then that knockout was, to me, it was amazing. I mean, actually the best performance of probably the whole year.
Yeah, I think we have to stop, discrediting Usyk's power. It doesn't look like he's hitting.
No, I never discredited his power.
No, not you, bro. I'm talking about there's a lot of people, including myself, that we just thought that Usyk just didn't have that power, but he has.
I said he has power.
It's like Lomachenko, isn't it? Lomachenko doesn't look like he's hitting you hard, but when he's hitting you like 200 times a round, it's
pretty much.
Short.
I said he had power. Give me a sec, Cameron. I said he had power. It's just that when he fought Gassiev, he wasn't planting his feet. He was afraid of Gassiev's power. He was being too cautious with Gassiev, but Bellew initially he was, and then afterwards he kind of felt it. I guess he didn't respect it as much. As I figured it out, I told you guys that Bellew doesn't hit as hard as Gassiev. Gassiev hits a lot harder, and it's in a way I can't say smarter fighter because it's hard to say. He picks his shots, but better timing, I guess. Or, I don't know, man. Bellew got good timing too. It's like pretty much even.
All right, hold on. Now,
much better defense. Far better defense.
Yeah.
Let me just introduce Recognize the Matrix. Once I introduce Recognize the Matrix, I think anybody can jump in whenever they want.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
Yo, what's up, Recognize? Give us your take on the fight, please.
First of all, don't get fooled that Usyk doesn't have any power. I told you guys. And when that fucking man stands his ground, sorry for cursing, he's got a lot of power, and he proved it. One thing, let me start off with the ending of the fight. He's just an amazing southpaw fighter. I haven't seen somebody that big, southpaw stance, that knows positioning, how to knock out a guy. The way he knocked him out was, if you go back to the knockout, he gets punched by Bellew's lead left, right? He gets like a countered with like this hook on the top of the head. You can see it got his attention a little bit. He decided to say, you know what? I'm not gonna position my lead foot outside of his. I'm gonna go right in the middle, so that way I could sit on my what I called a straight left hook that put him to sleep. And you can see that he didn't use that much arm strength. It was just all about positioning. Taps the jaw, you see his head make that funny movement, and he knocks him out. So to me, that was very impressive from a guy like me who loves, I tell you guys, I spar, and I've boxed a lot. I've had some amateur background. I love the southpaw stance. And so to me, that's just an amazing southpaw fighter. The fight itself was, I pretty much agree with, I wasn't really scoring the fight, but I would say the first 3 rounds, it looked like Bellew was getting the best of that. I did think he did some smart things. He was a bit awkward for, it seemed that way. Like he was a bit awkward. And I think Stu even said it, that he wasn't able to land those straight lefts like he usually does. I think he landed some, but not like the way he usually does. And you got to credit Bellew to that. But outside of that, from, I want to say, after the 3rd round until the knockout, I thought it was competitive, but I thought that Usyk figured him out. He realized that, you know, this guy's going to be a bit awkward. He's going to be on the back foot a bit. He's going to have to, you know, put the pressure on him. And that's what allowed him to score the knockout, because it allows Usyk to not use that much footwork. So in other words, he's punching a lot. He's standing his ground while he's sitting on his punches a lot more when you're being aggressive, because you're flat-footed.
You know what, right? Somebody's just done a super chat, right, Bucho?
No, it was subscription. So.
Oh, okay. I was also, I don't understand. There's been this myth with a lot of people that Usyk doesn't have punching power, and I find it weird because Usyk's got a higher knockout percentage ratio than Bellew going into that fight tonight. And also, the thing is, Usyk, the only guys that Usyk hasn't stopped are elite guys who have had world titles, who are undefeated, and haven't been rocked in their career. Bradis, Gassiev, and Glowacki were never rocked before that fight when they fought Usyk. And those are the only guys he hasn't stopped. I mean, he didn't stop Michael Hunter either, but these are no mugs. You know, when you step up the levels, you're not going to walk through these guys. But Usyk does punch hard. You know, just because his style's not based around punching power.
Cameron, I've seen in the chat, you know, people are saying, oh, well, Gassiev survived, you know, because I just said Bellew did better than Gassiev. And the reason I said that, at least Bellew come to try and win. And when you come to win, you leave yourself open for shots. Gassiev just curled up in his shell, wait for the belt to ring for the final.
Yeah, Gassiev lost his will and desire after.
Listen, anyone can survive. Anyone can survive when you're curling up and you've got a good guard. It's typical European, Eastern European guard. You're solid, you're strong. You can survive, but it doesn't mean you. And at least Bellew come to try and win the fight. He was winning rounds. Gassiev didn't win any second of that fight.
Bro, he did win a couple of.
Precise made a good point earlier on when he said, like, I think Usyk probably knew that if that had have gone the distance and it was in any way close, he probably wasn't going to get that on the cards. And I think that might have made him come in with a bit of a more aggressive mentality. I think he knew he'd probably have to go for the knockout. And like Precise said, if you go for it, if you fight in that way, you are going to get hit more. I mean, that's just a fact.
That's what I worry for Usyk. If he moves up to heavyweight and he fights one of these British heavyweights and he can't get him out of there, and it is close, he is going to get the wrong end of the decision, whether it's Joshua White or anything.
Yeah,
it's a difference of styles, bro. Two guys, different styles. Bellew fights in a different style. Gassiev fights in a different style, based off how they're.
I did tell you all that Bellew would be a lot harder fight than Gassiev.
He'll be hard to hit.
Usyk would get knocked out. Let's just say that. Get knocked out.
Say again.
I said, let's just go ahead and say Usyk would get knocked out if he fights the way he did that way. Because
you can't say that, bro. You can't say that.
You can't remember, like,
I can say that. No, I can say that because he's fighting much bigger guys, and if he fights that certain way, then he's probably going to get knocked out because he's not going to be able to leave it. It's not even going to be left to the hands of the judges most of the time. He's probably going to get knocked down or not down and out.
You can't say that, as I said again, because it's cruiserweight. It's cruiserweight. He's fighting at cruiserweight. It's not heavyweight. He has probably more power at heavyweight, bro.
All right. Corruption wants to say something.
That's my point. That's my point.
Counter argument.
I've got to agree. Like some of the, I've got to agree. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. The guy that said,
Battle.
If he takes them punches at heavyweight, he's going to get knocked out. I mean, the punches he took off of Bellew tonight, if that was a Wilder or an AJ delivering them shots, is absolutely. I mean, there's very little doubt in my mind that that's going to be lights out.
Based on what?
Yeah.
Based on what?
Because they're bigger punch. They're bigger punchers.
This is boxing. When you go swimming, you get wet. This is boxing. You're going to get hit, right? When did Usyk once show that he was hurt or he was in trouble? Not.
He did, but that's my point. Like Bellew hit him with the combination late on, and Usyk kind of smiled. What I'm saying is, I think if that was somebody like a Wilder or an AJ, a combination like that with the power that those guys carry, I think it's unlikely he's going to walk through those guys' punches. I mean, like in the case,
I'll tell you an example. Joyce hits harder than Bellew does. and he took those punches like they were nothing at heavyweight. He was like
that's not on the same level when you're talking about the Joe.
No. Joy Joyce is not as talented as AJ.
Joy.
He doesn't hit as hard as Wilder, but he hits approximately the same thing as AJ does. I'm telling you.
Joy Joyce. I have a friend who met Joy Joyce. EJ, the guy I know, the British guy. He actually talking about when he saw EJ the first time. He was a lot smaller than what he is now. He is a lot bigger. And AJ and Wilder are the biggest punchers in the division. When you're talking about Usyk, he has been hurt, bro. He's been knocked down before. It's not a case where he just has a granite chin. No, he's been knocked down before. He's been hurt before. He got hurt by Breeders, and he got hurt.
But Deontay Wilder's been hurt before, staggering all over the ring.
Of course he has. But we're talking about
Deontay Wilder's been knocked out before.
Exactly.
He's been knocked out before.
Amateurs, bro.
What was that? What was that Russian fighter that's like 6 feet tall that knocked him out?
He's like 6. He's not even 6. He's like a little bit taller.
He got knocked out by some. He got knocked out by some fight. You guys see that?
Still, that was amateurs. AJ got knocked out.
But guys,
professional.
How much
twice in a pros?
How much is Usyk gonna be? Hold on. How much is Usyk gonna weigh?
That stuff up now.
I'm gonna tell you guys something different.
Why can't you?
Listen,
it's a fact. Wilder did get knocked out before. I'm talking about.
He got knocked down twice in the pros.
Yeah, he got
apparently that
by a fat ass.
When Deontay,
that's right.
When Deontay Wilder,
I can tell you guys something, right? I said Wilder and Tyson Fury would beat him, but based off his performance today, the way he adapts and what he will bring against a different opposition, like somebody with a heavy-handed guy like Wilder, for example, or AJ, he'll fight a totally different style, bro. He'll fuck with these guys. No. He will fuck with him in a different way. It'll be a different fight.
These heavyweights are not going to have. These heavyweights are not going to be as elusive as Bellew. I don't care what you say.
On top of that, you got to.
You got to see. They're
going to be slow and flat-footed. They're going to be slow.
Let's be losing 8 rounds. I mean, we're losing up to 6 to 7 rounds against a guy like Wilder or Joshua. That probably wouldn't even happen. Usyk would probably be up on points, but he would still get knocked out.
No, listen, this is why I keep saying, let's not rush Usyk straight to these top boys like Wilder and Joshua. Let's give him a couple of fights and see where he is with these big boys. I agree with you.
He really needs improvement because I think
what improvement?
No, he doesn't.
What improvements?
Listen, that guy.
He doesn't.
What improvements? What improvements?
He really.
He's gone.
There needs to be some more. Do you know what? I don't know if Usyk needs to improve. For me, I was going to say Usyk's, in my opinion, is the best champion in boxing right now. So I don't understand that, but
I still have second, bro. For me, it's still second. I still have Loma.
He's number 3 on my list. He's number 3.
Stevenson stopped him early. I don't know.
Guys up, but
he's like least number. Yeah, at least top 3. I agree.
I remember when he's fighting these heavyweights, he's not going to be plodding, coming forward.
Yeah, he's smart.
Chasing the fight. He's going to be on the back foot boxing. He had to go after Bellew because Bellew was on the back foot all night, just waiting to land that right hand. He had to go after Bellew, and when he felt Bellew's power, he realised he wasn't going to get hurt, and he just that wasn't really the Usyk that we used to see. It was just the
skill set that Bellew has is greater than AJ's, is greater than Wilder's. Maybe not Tyson Fury's, but those 2 guys for sure.
I wouldn't say AJ. I wouldn't say AJ.
Usyk versus Joshua is like Pacquiao De La Hoya. I'm not saying that's how the fight goes, but it's a similar style matchup, and obviously it's the heavyweights. You don't want to be taking a punch from them big guys.
You're not. The thing is, we've seen Usyk fight different. That's because he lost the first few rounds. He never would have fought that way if he won the first few rounds. You've seen that with Gassiev. He just backed up the whole night because Gassiev made it in his mind that he had to chase after Usyk the whole time. Gassiev didn't fight that way when he fought Junior Dorticos. He was in the back foot for the remainder of the fight. So Usyk So no, I mean that was Usyk. That was Usyk's mistake. He found out the hard way that Bellew was a much more accurate puncher, and he found out the hard way. He didn't jump on the gas quick enough, so he's not going to be beating these heavyweights unless he makes a really big improvement. I still think
no, that's no.
How did he find out the hard way, mate? He knocked him out. How did he find out the hard way?
Because why
all these guys got, bro? Come on now, let's keep it real. All those guys got is all they got is a puncher's chance, okay? And shady ass judging. That's all these big heavyweights got on this guy.
And so it Usyk if he's getting touched up like that. Because why in the world would Usyk be that many rounds down on points? That would mean he would basically have a puncher's chance to beat these heavyweights at the same thing. So why?
No, they don't. That's a bad comparison because we've seen Usyk. Hold on, let me say something. Hold on. Let me say something. I'll tell you why it's a bad comparison. Because Tony Bellew is a smaller guy that came up in weight, and he moves unlike any of these other heavyweights. He moves a lot better. Now, when we saw Usyk in the amateurs against big plotting, hold on, let me finish. We saw Usyk. We have tape of Usyk fighting big plotting guys and schooling the shit out of them. And then there's also some instances where he does get hit by a big guy and he's in trouble. So all they're going to have is a puncher's chance, significant puncher's chance, and they could very well knock him out. But let's not act like Usyk can't do nothing against these guys because ultimately all they don't got the skill to beat them. They got the power to knock them out. And that's really what it comes down to.
The guy said it best. What was it, Mr. S? When you're talking about boxing, he said it best. I never said he wouldn't do anything. He said when you're talking about boxing, when you swim, you're going to get wet. He's going to do something, but he's not going to win. That's the point. That's the point of the argument. If that's what people going out there for. They're trying to win. It doesn't matter if they have the baddest skill set in the world. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out. You lose.
How do you know? Listen, Joseph Parker survived with Joshua. Why can't Usyk?
Exactly, bro.
Takam.
That's like the best example.
Let me finish boxing style. No. Takam, right? Let me finish, bro. Takam, right? That wasn't a stoppage against Joshua. That wasn't a stop. It was prematurely stopped. Derek Chisora knocked Takam spark out. So what makes you think, right, that Usyk can't avoid Joshua?
Because Joseph Parker is a bigger man. He's not.
He's not a bigger man. He's not a bigger man. Tony Bellew looks small in there tonight.
They're actually about the same size.
No, Joseph Parker is a bigger man by weight. He's a bigger man.
No, he's not. No, not naturally.
No, he's not.
No. Are you guys serious, bro? Joseph Parker is a bigger man by weight. You can look at.
Go look on the fight.
Joseph Parker's weight during the amateurs?
Guys, I see what.
Well, then Deontay Wilder's smaller, then I guess by weight.
Yeah. Why you guys?
Yeah, guys, but can I say something? I just see what Boxing Rifle is saying because, there is not a huge size difference between Parker and Usyk, but however, Parker is used to get hit by strong punchers that weigh about 250 pounds, and we haven't seen Usyk getting hit from them. I mean, I saw him against Gassiev, who's a huge, the biggest cruiserweight puncher. Of course, he hadn't hit Usyk a lot, but those couple of times he caught him, I can tell you, I clearly saw Usyk getting hurt to body and to the head in second and fourth round. So as a big Usyk fan, I'm a bit worried of how he's going to take those punches from.
Yeah, but we all agreed with you. Hold on, we all agree. Yeah, if he gets hit, he's gonna get hurt. He might even get knocked out. Everybody agrees. I think we could stop talking about that. That's it.
Right.
So why would you argue me earlier if I said that he wouldn't beat the heavyweights?
Because you're acting like it's a done deal when it's an intriguing fight. What I think is going on.
What did I say?
Come on, man.
If you're talking about boxing, of course he's going to do something. They're going to get hit, but he's not going to win. That was my point. That was the whole point. I brought it up.
Yeah, right. You made your prediction. That's fine. You made your prediction.
Yeah, but when you look at the facts, right? When you look at the facts that go through the history, usually a dominant cruiserweights always do well in the heavyweights. I mean, Evander Holyfield,
Everyone was
not Vasily Jirov.
Marco Hook. Look, no, okay, no, but look, Marco Hook, talking about these current cruiserweights, was beating the shit out of Povetkin. He had him on Queer Street, was beating his ass, right? Stepped up to heavyweight, whooped his ass. I know it's a few years later down the line, Usyk stops Marco Hook. Now, Junior Fa, I know this is the amateurs, but hear me out here. Big dude went 2-2 with Joseph Parker. Usyk beat Junior Fa at least once, maybe 2 times in the amateurs. These big guys are gonna have hell of a time trying to land on him. That's for damn sure.
No, they're not, because if we're seeing Tony Bellew,
bro, it's as simple as watching Parker versus Joshua. It just
Joshua couldn't land shit on Parker. Joshua couldn't land anything on Parker.
Hey, you got
there is another fighter.
Who's the better fighter between Parker and
no. You guys said earlier that Parker.
You don't. But you don't understand. You don't understand boxing, bro. You're talking about Tony Bellew. Name me a heavyweight. Name me a heavyweight that is elusive as Tony Bellew. Just name me one.
Doesn't exist, bro.
Only Tyson Fury.
Parker, maybe Parker.
Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury.
What I said, what I clearly said when I remember when I first started off the argument, I said that when Usyk, he has to really improve his skills to beat some of these top heavyweights. Now, to counter to that, when you guys were talking about that. He would have a chance. He would have a chance. Why does that even matter if he's trying to win? He doesn't want to go through. I can make a statement at heavyweight. He wants to make money. He wants to win. So why would that even be an argument? If he can just, I can hit somebody in a boxing match. Of course you can hit him. That's what part of boxing. He's not going to win though.
What do you mean by not winning? I don't understand.
What do I mean? What do I mean by not winning? He's not getting the nod by the judges. He's not winning. He's not getting the belt.
Okay. So you're praying for a robbery. All right. Well,
no.
No. He's got a point. Besides, he's got a point.
How can I make it more simple? How can I make it more simple that he wouldn't win? What do I have to
would he win against who?
He wouldn't win.
Give us a specific opponent.
Wouldn't win against the top heavyweights like Dillian White. Wilder. He wouldn't win against him because
I agree.
Whoa, I don't know, man.
An equally sized heavyweight in Joseph Parker was what 20 seconds away from beating.
How equally sized?
A battle rifle. Should I call you water pistol? Hold on, yeah.
Go ahead.
He was what 20 seconds away from defeating Dillian White. Now the weight differential between Usyk and Joseph Parker is simply fat and water. That is Joseph Parker's body intake. So there's not much difference. Usyk is far more muscular and cut. So if Parker is able to go significant rounds, and what did Dillian White do? He came in heavy and he used illegal infringements, tried to spear him over the ropes. He headbutted him in the second round, which caused a lot of the debilitating factors, but Parker was still able to fire through. And Dillian White was the one who was on Queer Street, hanging right at the end. So how can you make some absolutely nonsensical argument that these small guys cannot?
How is that nonsensical? You said.
I'll give you another example. Michael Hunter, one of Usyk's ex-victims. Yeah, this guy is a lot better than what people think. And Usyk's victory is becoming a little bit more better pronounced. Michael Hunter recently went up to heavyweight and defeated one of the best UK prospects, Bellew, who's based in Scotland, who's Joshua's main sparring partner. Michael Hunter stopped him. It was one of the biggest shocks, yeah? And that just also re-emphasizes that these cruiserweights, if they're good enough, can go up. Have you seen the size of Bellew? He's like 260 pounds.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, I've seen him.
Yo, Battle, to defend your argument, I'm trying to defend Battle here, just for his sake. I'm defending you right now.
It's not like I'm losing or anything.
No. I'm just defending you. I'm defending you right now. The only two guys that I can pull it off is Wilder and Fury. AJ, he's too stiff to do that shit.
AJ has the best resume at heavyweight. And
I know he does.
And almost every time
I know he does, bro. I'm just saying stylistically, the two guys that can pull it off. is Wilder.
But
Fury.
Let me say, can I say something now?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Can I just wrap this argument up and then we can move on a little bit? I see Battle Rifle, is that your name? I see his point. His point is basically Usyk will get robbed if he tries to fight his usual style of.
Well, everybody knows this, bro.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows this.
No. I think he would get knocked out. They said, they asked me, what do you mean by win? I said he wouldn't get the nod. And I didn't just mean by the judge. I just meant by the fans. He wouldn't win. I think he would get knocked out. I don't even think he would get robbed. I think he would get knocked out.
We made predictions.
Yeah,
people make predictions, right? People make predictions, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. My problem with what you were saying was just the fact that you made it seem like he got no chance of winning. Yeah, you got your own opinion on the fight.
He has a slim chance of winning.
Okay, have you seen Usyk versus? Hold up. Have you seen Usyk versus Junior Fa or Joe Joyce? Have you seen any of those fights?
Yes, I've seen those. That was a long time ago in the amateurs, bro.
That wasn't the amateurs, and it wasn't that long ago. Have you seen Usyk beat? Have you seen Usyk beat the guy that beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs?
Of course he did. That was in the amateurs, bro.
No. It wasn't in the amateurs. It wasn't in the amateurs.
Does it or does it not count on his pro record?
I'm not talking about records right now. I'm talking about skill and style. Hold on, can I finish? Can I finish what I was saying? Can I finish?
Let me say
no. Let me finish what I was saying before you
can't.
Before you reply,
you said
before you reply to what I have to say. I think you should let me say what I have to say.
But you said
you don't know. Let me just say what bro. Let me finish what I had to say, please.
Yes, let the precise finish battle, please.
You're completely strawmanning me here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about style matchups. That's all I'm saying. I don't care if it was in the amateurs or it was in my grandmama's backyard. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about style matchups. And I think you're right. If he gets hit clean by these big guys, it's probably lights out. But what I'm talking about is I've seen Usyk not get hit by these big guys and outbox the shit out of them. So I think it's a very intriguing and interesting fight. But the only problem I got is that you're acting like he got no chance or like he has a really, really slim chance. And I just disagree.
How many times do I have to say he has a slim chance? I didn't say he has no chance. People going to get hit in boxing. What you put on the gloves for? You get hit.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
we got it. Wait, hold on.
What's your criteria to think that you take? What's your criteria to think that you take?
Answer my question. Stu, answer my question. Yeah. Battle Rifle, who would you say is more skilled out of that crop? Would you say Usyk, Joshua, Wilder? Who would you say is more skilled? Hello?
Crickets.
Would you say Usyk's more skilled, right? Would you say Usyk's more skilled?
Put my middle stuff on me. I was saying
all the way around.
Can I say something? Can I say something? How? Can I say something, please? Can I say something? Hey,
I said Usyk.
Fucking shit. Can I say something?
Guys, let Butcho speak, man.
Yo, guys, we're gonna have to
finish my point.
We're gonna have to download Skype because this is a piece of shit. Nobody can hear me. I don't know what the fuck's wrong. When you're the host, you just get fucking drowned by the noise. Oh, and now everybody dropped. Look at this piece of shit. Hey, Google, fix your fucking Hangouts, man. It's a piece of shit. Alright? No, seriously. Alright.
Butcho got on the dark side, man.
Yeah. Alright. I was gonna say something. Hold on. Is how heavy was Chris Bird? How heavy was Chris Bird? Hey. What the fuck?
Let Butcho finish, man.
My god. Apology. Come on. How big was...
hear you, bro. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Alright, that's okay. How big was Chris Bird? Weight-wise.
Like big Bird.
189 pounds.
No,
I mean, and this guy he wasn't getting knocked out by heavy. Of course, there was Ike Beabucci. Hold on, Ike Beabucci. You know, like he got knocked out by Ike Beabucci, whatever. But he did survive for a lot of fights. So now we're talking as if Usyk is gonna go in there with a heavyweight and get hit and he's gonna fall on the ground and he's 6'3", probably 215 pounds. Maybe we'll go up to 220. I mean, to say that he's like as a fact that he's gonna get knocked out, I think it's an exaggeration. All right, especially by guys like Dylan White who are fucking slow, and I mean maybe a Wilder or because of the size difference. But come on, man, Chris Bird survived. Chris Bird.
Can I speak now, or you guys been talking? Gassiev's power is not that far apart from Dylan White's. It's not that
Chris Arreola said he hits as hard as all the heavyweights he's ever sparred.
It's not that far.
I want to know where Battle gets this criteria from, that Usyk's not going to take any of these shots. Show me facts where Usyk has been hurt by cruiserweights, and I'll start to believe you. What? To the body? He got hurt to the body.
Not just he was getting hurt to the head, and he was getting hurt by Bellew.
And Michael Phelps has been wet before.
Anthony Joshua got knocked out with headgear and big gloves by a guy that was 6 foot tall. Come on, man.
Of course he did, but the guy was a heavyweight. The guy was a heavyweight, though.
The guy was a fat ass. The guy was a fat ass. That's what he was. He was a 6 foot. He was a 6 foot tall, 40 pounds overweight, middleweight. That's what he was.
40-pound overpowered middleweight.
The guy was a fat ass. The guy was a fat ass. That's what he was.
He's the heavyweight. What you fail to realize? Are you a heavyweight?
If I put on 40 pounds, I'm gonna be damn near as big as Joshua.
Exactly. He's a heavyweight. What is he fighting at heavyweight or not?
No, but dude, the point I think
exactly. That's the point. What did you?
So Usyk, all right. So Usyk's gonna be fighting that heavyweight, right? Is he not?
30 pounds.
But that's your logic, ain't that your logic?
No.
Okay. You make no sense, bro.
That makes absolutely no sense. That makes no sense. If the guy is fighting at heavyweight, he's a natural heavyweight. Why would he just be fighting there if he wasn't a natural heavyweight? That's my problem.
What guy am I talking about? All right. So what guy? Okay. So what guy am I talking about? Hold on, guys. What guy am I talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like,
okay, so you have no idea. Okay, all right. So you have no idea who I'm talking about, and what I'm telling you about this guy.
Because I don't know what you're talking about. You're just making crazy points. If he got knocked down by a guy who's a natural heavyweight.
No, he's not, bro. You don't even listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm telling you. The guy was not a natural heavyweight. He was a fat ass. All right, that's why he was fighting that heavyweight.
Are you talking about Dillian White?
No, I'm not talking about Dillian White. I'm talking about a little 6 foot tall Romanian guy that knocked him the hell out. And if you're saying just by the virtue of being fat and weighing 200+ pounds, he's the heavyweight, well then Usyk's going to be a heavyweight.
What Romanian guy knocked him on his butt?
Listen, I know 5'2" women that are 200 pounds. It doesn't mean you're fucking heavyweight when you're fat.
James Stoney. Come on.
I thought he was talking about Dillian White. That's who I thought. I don't know what this Romanian.
The Romanian dude. There was a Romanian dude at the amateurs. The name slips me. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But anyway, he did stop Anthony Joshua. What he's trying to say is this guy was fat, overweight. That doesn't make him a heavyweight. He's just at 6 feet tall. You got to have some really big muscles on you to be 200 pounds and be like in really good shape, right?
Usyk beat that guy, by the way. Just wanted to throw that in. Right. Usyk beat that guy.
Oh, look at that. So Usyk beat the guy that knocked
in the
him
amateurs.
Out, okay? In the amateurs. Now, look.
Right, but he got knocked out. Usyk didn't get knocked out.
It's 3 rounds, bro. Come on, wake up. It's 3 rounds.
All it took was 3 rounds to knock him out.
You're forgetting the fact that Battle. You're forgetting the fact they're wearing pads, bigger gloves.
Yeah, that's even worse.
All that shit. You're forgetting the fact that he knocked him out with bigger gloves.
It's a totally different mindset when you're talking about 12 rounds and 3 rounds. You have to pace yourself a lot better because some people get up. They don't give you much leeway when you're talking about the amateurs. You get hit one time and they'll stop the fight. That's usually how it works. It's a totally different mindset when you're talking about 3 rounds.
Oh, Ralph, that works in professionals as well.
and plus, when you're talking about.
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, Precise, did he drop him? Did you lay him down? Because I haven't seen that fight.
he was out on his feet, and he just kept beating him up, man. So the referee jumped in and stopped the fight.
It was a
He's
TKO
like,
pretty
he's like
much.
a low-placed genetic clone today.
He was a southpaw too, just like Usyk.
Yeah, but
Just
we
saying.
all know Evander Holyfield was a blown up fucking cruiserweight on steroids. But
light heavyweight, bro. He was a light heavyweight.
No, he wasn't. He only fought one time at light heavyweight, bro.
Yeah, but who gave? Can I finish, please?
Yeah,
Who
hold
gave
on.
him?
Stu, then
Stu, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go on, apology. Yeah, no one was giving Evander Holyfield any chance because I remember that fight. I watched it live. I remember the build-up around it. Everyone was saying Tyson's going to kill this guy. I'm fearing for Holyfield's life. And you know this guy, and Holyfield beat the brakes off of Mike Tyson, man. So you know, and that guy was a cruiserweight. I don't care what you say. Holyfield was never a heavyweight in a million. When he fought Lennox Lewis, the man had about 20 pounds of pure water from steroids on it. You know, the guy slowed himself down by bulking himself up. He was never at his best, but he's never a heavyweight in a million years, and he beat the brakes off of Mike Tyson. No one gave him a chance. So,
but wasn't
what about Michael Moore? Remember the great southpaw? He started off at light heavyweight where he was knocking people out, and look at the damage he did at heavyweight as well.
Yeah,
but you got to remember. Big fights.
Michael Moore, and Usyk is much better than Michael Moore.
About he spent almost 3 years. When you look at the bigger fights what Michael Moore had, it took place almost 3 years, just like Mike Tyson. When they got in the division, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield was supposed to fight before Tyson went to jail. He went to jail for 3 years, so that was probably about 4 years before the fight actually took place. He was past his prime.
Yeah, you're right.
I came out for casting question, man.
I don't agree with Stu that.
Hold on, boxing stars. Just like
Michael Moore, just like when he left. When he left,
cast your question.
Go ahead, apology.
Yeah. If Usyk stays up there for a few years, gets the 3 fights, would you give him a chance then?
You said 3 or 4 years. I would say because he would gain the weight and he would learn how to fight. Yeah, I would say I would give him a legitimate chance.
3 or 4 years for Usyk?
I'll give him like a year or two.
I wouldn't want to
fight. 2 fights.
Dude, honestly.
Look,
listen, guys. Honestly, I said that last time. Let him fight one fight in heavyweight, but I think he'll do fine if he fights AJ right now. You'll beat him. You'll beat him, bro.
I disagree.
You'll beat him right now.
All
right, okay, that's my opinion, bro. I'm just gonna say it out there.
Look, I agree with what you just said. You just said that from what you saw. Now, look, I've been saying this for quite a while. I'm a big fan of Usyk because of his southpaw stance. That's mainly why I like him so much, and he's a hell of a puncher. The thing about Usyk is that he's in his prime right now. The game plan to beat these guys is in his head already, how to beat them. That's why he wanted to make the statement that he did at cruiserweight. That was just for like legacy claim, and now move up so that way people can notice him, so he can go up to heavyweight. And he has a game plan to beat these guys. Now, whether or not he's going to get the fight right away, I don't know. We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Because Eddie Hearn, all right, Eddie Hearn might have different plans. If you look at Usyk's style, of fighting, Usyk has the style to beat these guys, to wear them out and beat them. Okay, he does. Whether it plays out like that, we'll find out eventually. But there is no other guy south of the heavyweight division that I'm aware of that anybody is speculating can go up to heavyweight and beat these guys. Okay, I'm talking about Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and possibly maybe even Tyson. Okay, those 3 guys. I think the reason why a lot of people are excited about Usyk is that he does have the style to wear these big men out. Okay, in Deontay Wilder's case, a very flawed technical boxer. A lot of power, right? A lot of athletic ability, but very poor technical boxing skills. That can easily happen. Yes, I understand that he can easily knock Usyk out too. I agree with that. Okay, but at the same time, That you look at his style. Don't tell me he has no shot to beat Wilder.
Wilder don't got footwork to beat him.
I think after this fight, I don't think he really has any chance after this fight. He would need more experience at heavyweight. He would probably need like like a year or two to fight. I wouldn't want to wait 3 or 4 years, but if that were to happen, I would give him a better chance. But I wouldn't want to wait that long. That would be too long for him to move up and fight these bigger guys. Way too long.
Apparently, Anthony Joshua got the same level of skills as Tony Bellew. I did not see that. The same elusiveness.
What's Anthony Joshua like from a technical standpoint? When Usyk step into the fight, right? That's the hand. What are they gonna do? They're gonna throw it.
You cut out, Pete. Pete,
you're breaking up.
You're breaking up, bro.
Rifle, how long do you think Deontay Wilder has at heavyweight?
He probably has a good 3 or 4 years probably before he starts losing, because I don't think the AJ fight is really going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, but Rifle, just say for argument's sake, yeah, that Fury pulls this fight off with Wilder and wins. And schools him. It schools him. And then how long has Wilder got?
Maybe one. He could still beat a lot of champions just based off his power. He never needed the skill. Let's put that out the way. Wilder never really needed the skills. He has the power to knock you out. He would still probably go another 3 years. Because I don't think.
My point was more from the injury side, given that he's already sustained 3 broken hands, bicep injuries, etc. So I don't think he has 3 years left.
You're talking about because of his injuries?
Yes.
He has horrible punching technique.
Lasts longer than that usually, bro.
He has horrible punching technique.
I've broken my left hand 4 times, from fighting in the past. I can tell you any more than 3, and that's virtually going to render him obsolete.
I've got a broken. I got broken in 5 places fighting. I've got wires and plates in my hands, and I drop things constantly. I can't even hold. I can't even hold a can properly. So I know exactly what them injuries do to your hands.
But I think you can look at many occasions where these heavyweights got injured. Vanna Holyfield losing up to like 15, 16 pounds in one fight. You see people like Mike Tyson, I think he injured like his collarbone or something like that, and they still come back. Heavyweight usually lasts longer than that, so I think he probably can have a good 3 or 4 years. And that's kind of like a short minimum through max statement. He can probably last a little longer. I just don't want to jump the gun and say 5 and 6 years. I don't want to do that. I think he could do it for like another 3 or 4 years. I'm not saying that he has Tyson Fury has no chance of beating him. I'm not saying that he would still beat champions though with his power. But I don't think Usyk.
Why losing all this weight though? Can anybody tell me?
It's not good. Yeah, I don't.
Because
he
was like
speed.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that apology. What happens when you fight bigger, athletic fighters like yourself? That's gonna work. That's not gonna work for him against Anthony Joshua. I'm gonna tell you right now, Anthony Joshua will beat him. With the way he's fighting, he would knock him the fuck out. I also think
Joshua Wilder.
From what I saw, Usyk, with the same size that I seen from Usyk, I think Wilder needs an advantage. He needs weight. Okay, needs weight, because if you're gonna match skill for skill with a guy more or less the same size as you, Wilder can't compete with that. He cannot beat a guy like that. I think he's going to have to put on some weight. Let's see what happens with Fury. I'm not too sure. It all depends. If Fury is still as good as, or half, or 80% as good as he was before he retired, I say he beats Wilder. But I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Can I just get AA Boxing in there, because he's in the chat giving me a bit of stick, saying he has to shout. He says, "Do I have to shout to get in?" So come on, my brethren from the Scotland. What did you think about the fight, bro?
That fight, I think Wilder beats Anthony Joshua. I think Tyson Fury beats Wilder.
No, I'm on about Usyk, Bellew. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I really do rate Usyk highly, like really highly, and Tony Bellew shocked me. He didn't. But I thought it would have been. I thought Usyk would have won every round. Tony Bellew might have nicked a round, but I had Bellew up when he got beat, so he proved me wrong. He's definitely Bellew is good.
Crafty. It's all to do with craftiness. I said that before the fight happened. I said he's really crafty, and Usyk's gonna have problems like getting to him early. And I think that's what he's a lot smarter fighter than people give him credit for. And I think that's why he did so well. But once Usyk worked him out, then it was just a matter of time. Yeah. 3 rounds. Yeah.
Usyk, after the fight, Usyk didn't even look like he broke sweat.
No, but he was just going up the gears. It's like when you're in a car, you stick it in the first and stick it in the second, hover around there for a little while, put it in the third, get in the fourth, and then you just hovering around. And then when you want to overtake someone, you put it in the fifth. And that's what Usyk did. He was just going up the gears slowly. And once he got into fifth, Bellew was starting to fucking. I think
big problems at heavyweight. I think there's no many people with the skill. And see, usually when you talk about somebody who's a boxer, like you talk about, I'm going to say Billy Joe Saunders, the first thing you think is feather-fisted. You look at the record, they're not a knockout artist. But Usyk's knockout rate now is 12 out of 15, 12 out of 6. But that is... Like,
it's very like Lomachenko. It's very like you don't think the guy's hitting hard, but the stoppages keep coming. You know what I mean?
I think that's their strategy. They start off with on their like toes and throw a lot of punches, open you up, and then start slowly adding the power.
Man, the thing about Usyk, man,
exactly I don't think apology.
I think about Usyk, man.
That's exactly right what apology said.
I don't think he would beat some of these heavyweights because if he's down on points like that, he's not going to be able to rely on his power to bail him out of these situations. I mean, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but what makes you think he's going to be down on points? Like I said, these
because if he's getting hit like that,
flat-footed.
No, that's if a heavyweight sees hitting outbox like this.
That heavyweight division. Listen, bro, that heavyweight division is piss poor. Don't be fooled by Wilder and Joshua. It's piss poor.
What if Floyd Mayweather is behind on the cards? Is he gonna be able to knock out his opponent?
That makes no sense. Why would they chase after?
Like he's a boxer. He's gonna be outboxing. Of course, if he's down on the cards and he has to knock for a knockout, probably he won't get it.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't see him beating these heavyweight. He would have to really improve his game. And
Chris Bird did it. If Chris Bird did it,
his game. You're talking about
that would be improving his game because.
No, you're saying pick up more power, right? Is that what
you're
saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think he would have to.
Okay, but what boxing wise would you say any of those guys are better than Usyk?
They're not. They're not. They're saying if they can see Tony Bellew outboxing this guy and they see him clearly getting hit, he has
one of them being outboxed. Number one.
He was winning.
He had a different mentality for that battle. He had a different mentality for that fight.
Yeah, but still, he was getting outboxed. Didn't we?
Do you honestly think Joshua and Wilder are going to be running from Usyk like Bellew was? Do you really think that's what's going to happen? I mean, honestly.
Exactly, totally two different fights. These heavyweights are going to be walking onto Usyk, and that suits him. Usyk had to chase Bellew around the ring, and it didn't suit. It was a bit like Postal when he had to chase Crawford around the ring. He was like a fucking lost sheep in there. So Usyk had to adapt, and it took him 2-3 rounds. But that's the elite fighter he is. He can fight either way, but his best style is when someone's coming onto him, and these heavyweights are going to be walking on him because most of them are slow and flat-footed.
That's the thing, man. Styles make fights. Triangle theories don't always work neither.
Of course they don't. I'm the main advocate. I say that, but if they're seeing this guy getting outboxed by Tony Bellew, then I can't imagine what they would do to him. They would just knock him on his butt knock him out.
Bro, Bellew, as I said, Bellew has more tricks up his sleeve than Joshua.
Of course they do, but we've seen Usyk get hit before. But even the punches that wasn't all skill is Bellew. If you're talking about Gassiev got off a little bit of punches. If you're talking about Britis,
I've only seen Usyk on his ass one time, and that's because of off balance shot. He was backing up.
No, he got hit in the stomach and he went down, and that was legitimate knockout. So
dude, hold on, dude.
Off balance.
Listen to what
that wasn't off balance.
All right, let's apology. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen to what you're saying. You keep talking about the power. So what does that say about the fighters? You're saying that's the only chance, right?
Of course, it would be their only chance. Just like Wilder, his only chance of winning is knocking people out. Wilder never people really.
So what's the problem here? Like, can he be successful at heavyweight or not? Can Usyk be successful at heavyweight? Yes or no?
Yes, he can, but he I mean, it's.
All right, so what?
He won't beat the top heavyweights. He won't beat the top heavyweights.
Okay, that's the thing. Okay.
Why he has no slim chance then? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Like
unless he.
Well, how can you be successful if you're not gonna beat the top heavyweights? So you're saying he's gonna beat? You said he wouldn't even beat Dylan White. So that's not success at all.
Dylan White is a top 10 heavyweight. Is he or is he not? He's like a top 5 heavyweight.
Okay, so he can beat a top 10 heavyweight.
Not in my eyes, man. He's not that good.
According to Ring TV,
I'm following the
Ring TV.
The consensus, the general consensus. In my opinion, they all suck. They're all fat and slow as fuck.
You know what?
You can look at the other ratings and Dylan White.
Let me get in here. Let official talk because he's been quiet and he's trying to get in. Go on, official.
Okay, thank you, Stu. It's going to be rather quick. Well, in the beginning, I agreed with boxing rifle, meaning that, yeah, of course, he's going to have problem with those huge punchers. But I've seen now that he's being like too pessimistic. On that side, I agree with recognize and precise, meaning that he's going to have trouble with their power, but his chances are not going to be that slim as he's thinking. So that's it.
I don't think I'm being too pessimistic at all, man. Wilder has never really just outpointing his opponents. I mean, we've seen people like Jared Washington outbox Wilder. We've seen Luis Ortiz outboxing Wilder, even when he got knocked down in the 5th round. His caveat has always been power, and that's how it is with heavyweights. AJ was losing against Povetkin, was he not? And then he knocked him out. So you're talking about heavyweight. That's usually how they win. They win off their power, and they will probably win off their power against Usyk because he's never felt the power of a legitimate heavyweight. He's not really felt that power.
He has. Many times.
Precise. Let me use it. You're jumping to conclusions without actually seeing him in the heavyweight division yet.
Of course I am, but I'm saying.
I'm gonna give you an example of an MMA fighter. DC, right? You know DC, Daniel Cormier, right? You know
of course.
He fought at the light heavyweight, and what was his power at? Not the same.
Cormier is a much better heavyweight than he was.
Exactly. You can wait till you see this fool in heavyweight. Then you can say,
how much is he gonna weigh?
Maybe he would. Maybe
how much is Usyk gonna weigh?
Corruption is. Sorry, I'm gonna have to take over, boys, because BDA Butcher can't be heard, so I'm gonna host. Corruption. You've been trying to talk. Come on, bro. Let us know.
Yeah, just 2 quick points, Stu. Now, power is relative to your opponent. Now, if you're talking about Wilder, who almost has 100% knockout ratio. But if you look at his opponents, he's fought 17 journeyman cruisermen who started off at light heavyweight, super middleweight, etc. Guys who were finished 5-10 years ago. So it's inevitable he's going to knock them out. Absolutely. Now, when he's up against a prime fighter, but not only in their physical prime, who's able to sort of roll and ride shots as well, then we'll truly see whether he does have true defined power. Because let's face it, against the Luis Ortiz fight, he was out on his feet, and that fight probably would have been stopped in other countries. And the scorecards just sort of re-emphasize it because they were having him ahead in the earlier round. So he was given a reprieve with a referee stopping the fight in the following round to examine him to sort of violate all particular rules just to try and prolong his career. Now, number two, you speak about outboxing, yeah. Now, the concept of outboxing might be that, you know, a fight is not a sprint. It can be a marathon. It's 12 rounds. Now, if a fighter is being outboxed for 2-3 rounds and he's able to make an adjustment and then come back and then outbox and stop an opponent. So where is the significance? Now, Usyk was being outboxed briefly by Michael Hunter for 2 rounds, who was jabbing him to the body and moving him. Tabisa Makuno, a much shorter opponent, was firing a jab from the hip at a completely different angle, which was causing Usyk problems, before Usyk decides to loop his left hand over and start firing uppercuts against the shorter opponent. So pretty much in every fight, there was a degree of him being outboxed, but he figured out the conundrum and then subsequently was outboxing them before laying them out.
It's more instead of a Lomachenko sort of skills, it's more like a Vlad sort of skill where he just very good at reading the fight and adapting. I know he's got a lot more to his game than Vlad, but it's more down that road than it is a Lomachenko where he's fucking. Do you know what I mean?
I wanted to add something about Deontay Wilder and the kind of people that he knocks out. He knocked out a whole bunch of bums, first and foremost, and secondly, the guys that were decent, like Luis Ortiz or Špilka, they fought with their hands down, okay? And then when Berman Stavern was smart enough to put his hands up, or Duwapa fought in that, if you want to say, peekaboo style, exactly like Usyk fights, he couldn't knock him out. He got a gift stoppage against Duwapa, and he couldn't knock out Stavern. So small adjustment, like keeping your hands up.
How is that different? How is that different from most heavyweight champions when they knock out a whole bunch of bums like Vitaly and Vladimir?
Vladimir fought way better.
I'm not, but see, hold on. Let me answer that. I'm not comparing Deontay Wilder to anybody else. I'm talking about a certain.
I know you didn't say that, but I just asked the question: how is that any different? Because that's how most heavyweights are. They knock out a bunch of bums.
Okay, great, but that's a tangent. That's not addressing anything that I really said with relation to Wilder Usyk hypothetical fight. And the only point I'm trying to make is, like, you put your hands up against Deontay Wilder, he doesn't know how to set up shots. He won't punch through your guard. He hasn't knocked these guys out. Guys that put their hands up, guys that fight with their hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to
the second fight.
I'm not so fat. And the first fight went 12 rounds.
Stavern kept his.
Wait, you're honestly like giving Wilder credit for the second Stavern fight, bro? Are you really doing that?
Dude, why are you asking me a question that we're bringing up the point of did he punch around people's guards? That's what you said. He was doing that when he fought Stavern.
He slaps around people's guard and hits behind the head.
Gerald Washington. Yeah. How did that go? Hold on. Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington. Gerald fucking Washington.
Sorry, the second Stavern fight, I don't even consider that. That was, what the fuck was that? That was a bomb. That was a bomb.
It was terrible, but he said people don't hit around the guards. He did that with Stavern.
Okay, well, if
all right. What about Gerald Washington?
Kidding me? He hit him straight in the face and he fell down.
No, bro, you did. Eventually, you did.
Listen, Stavern came in the ring that night looking like fucking Barry White. I mean, let's have
I mean, come on, let's be real. That wasn't. That wasn't a real fight.
I'm not hyping this fight up to be. I'm not hyping this fight up to be Ali versus Frazier. The point you was making was, does he punch around people's gloves? And yes, he does. When you're
wait, hold on. You started by mentioning Klitschko, though. You started. Nobody can fucking hear me.
Eric Molina, and he did it with Duhaupas.
You didn't knock him out.
What about Malik Scott in Puerto Rico? Was that a highlight knockout?
No, it wasn't a highlight knockout, but I mean,
like a guy.
The guy dived, the punch didn't even land. So what the fuck are you talking about? The guy
he knocks out guys that got no defense, man. If you got good defense, it's not that easy all of a sudden. As long as you got good defense, and then you add
heavyweights, bro. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I think hold on, dude. I think Recognize is trying to say something.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt anybody. Going back to the Malik Scott knockout, and some of the other knockouts that Wilder got. They were not knockouts. Those were technical. Those were technical stoppages, or some people call them PVC stoppages, right?
Come on, he threw that fight. Recognize he threw that
Malik,
fight.
Malik threw the fight. You just believe you. Listen, I don't care how much of a fan you are of somebody. That man came there to lose, and we saw it with our own eyes. What happened with Stavern in the second fight? Stavern offered no resistance. He came there to, all right, Wilder, just hit me with something so I can go. Okay, that was it. That was basically it. Hit me with something because I need this shit to end. Okay.
I know what he's talking about, man. That shit was fucking ridiculous. Malik Scott, bro, he didn't even get hit in the face. He got hit in the hand. He dropped because he got hit in the hand, bro. It was hilarious.
I think what that reminded me of, when you watch one of them 1950 movies and they start fighting and they just start, it was terrible acting by Malik Scott. He clearly threw the fight. I mean, this guy has got the backbone.
I mean, that's not.
At least Stavern kind of made it look realistic. Not exactly, but
no, bro, you can't just say people out there just throwing fights. Malik Scott probably.
Hold on. I have a question.
Rewatch that fight.
You have a question here.
Rewatch that fight and see if he actually lands.
No, the Malik Scott fight is probably questionable, but Stavern, no, he actually hit the guy. So
I didn't say anything about Stavern. I said
Battle. Why did you? Hold on, Battle. Why did you bring up Klitschko though? Why did you bring up Klitschko? How did that start?
Because he was mentioning that, Wilder knocked out all these people, but he knocked out a bunch of bums. I was like, how is that any different from any heavyweight champion?
But you think Klitschko fought the same opposition as Wilder?
No, he didn't, but he knocked out a bunch of bums, didn't he? And that's like a crap ton of his resume, a bunch of bums.
Yeah, this is the thing, right?
But he knocked out a bunch of good fighters too.
Yeah, exactly. Just admitted to that, though.
Let me just get in here quickly. You discredit Vladimir and Vitaly.
I'm not discrediting them. They did not.
I see a pattern here, bro.
Oh my god! So you see now you're gonna try to rope me in this category that I just hate Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly. I know what you're doing. He knocked out a bunch of bums. That's the point. Didn't I just say that's most heavyweight champions? Didn't I just say that's most heavyweight champions?
The minute Mike Tyson fought anyone with a jab, he got his fucking ass whooped.
He beat Trevor Berbick, bro. Heavyweight champion.
Freddie Mercury, man.
He beat Trevor Berbick and he beat Michael Spinks and Larry Holmes, bro. So I mean, he just didn't.
You're on about 12-0. You're on about 12-0, light heavyweight Michael Spinks. I mean,
12-0, bro. Did you look at his record? He beat Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney before he got knocked out.
You're about 40-year-old Larry Holmes that he robbed. Larry Holmes won that fight.
He was the first person to beat him.
Won that fight.
First fight. I mean, no, the second fight maybe, but the first fight he didn't.
Yeah, first fight I'm gonna battle Michael Spinks.
He lost. The first fight he lost. The second fight he probably didn't.
Michael Spinks.
Second fight.
Michael Spinks looked like a victim out of Michael Spinks looked like a victim out of a Freddy Krueger movie, man.
But didn't he win though? That's what happens in heavyweight division. Are you literally telling me you never seen a heavyweight fight where a guy was supposed to be good? Did you not see Sonny Liston versus Floyd Patterson?
Why are we comparing Deontay Wilder to great heavyweight boxers? Why are we doing that? I don't get it.
When did I say that? I said
with Plano Canero or something like that.
Ask me, BD. What did you ask me earlier?
I asked why you mentioned Klitschko's name, and then you said because Klitschko also knocked out bums. But then I asked you, do you think that Wilder fought the same type of position as Klitschko? You said no. Okay, you said no. So that means that hold on. So you said Klitschko did fight bums, but also fought better opponents that he ended up knocking out as well.
That's true. That's true. I said that.
Wilder hasn't.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Am I denying that? I said most heavyweight champions do. I mean, how is that any different when we're talking about heavyweight champions? When you're talking about Deontay Wilder, why try to bring up and say he beat up a whole bunch of bums when most heavyweight champions did that? When they first came out,
no. Most heavyweight champions.
I'd like to answer that question. I'd like to answer that question. Why I brought it up? I brought it up because most of these heavyweight champions knocked out a bunch of bums, but they also knocked out a bunch of good fighters, which is something Deontay Wilder hasn't done. That's why I brought it up.
So
because Deontay Wilder hasn't really proved.
I'm gonna give.
Because hold on. Deontay Wilder hasn't really proved that he can beat elite level fighters, and I don't count 46-year-old Luis Ortiz with a fucking heart that's about to explode. I'm sorry.
Why not you count Luis Ortiz for fighters? When you're talking about heavyweight fighters, there are older. Most heavyweight fighters
I never
are
rated.
older.
You could say he was great or whatever. You could say that, but going into that fight, I gave him zero chance, and I said he's an old man, and I pointed out the flaws that he had in his game. Poor defense, no footwork, slow, old, no stamina. I didn't think he was a very good fighter. Hold on, I'm not done yet. I didn't think he beat anybody of significance. I wasn't high on Luis Ortiz at all.
He beat Brian.
I don't rate Brian Jennings. I think Brian
3
Jennings
years
is a bum.
before.
Luis Ortiz is that old. He used to spar with John L. Sullivan, for fuck's sake.
Still the jokes again.
This guy is you know what I mean? I don't know what you keep going on about Luis Ortiz for. This guy.
Luis Ortiz, when you're talking about heavyweights are older. When you look, how old is Gerald Washington when he first got in the game? Like 30s? He was in his 30s?
Yeah, fuck's sake.
What? You broke up.
Gerald Washington is a bum. He was having trouble with old fucking what's his name?
Are older, so we can just.
Yeah, but there's older, and then there's like 55 years old. Like, come on.
When did George Foreman win his last title? What, 46? 46.
George Foreman is a great fighter. Luis Ortiz is not a great fighter.
He won a heavyweight title, came back 20 years later, won a title.
Luis Ortiz never won a heavyweight title.
The guy was 46. When George Foreman can do that, he was 46. There's a lot.
How old is Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz is not
George Foreman was an Olympic gold medalist. Gerald Washington
Washington
was a helicopter mechanic who suddenly converted to boxing. So there's a massive difference in pedigree between those fighters.
Of course, but you're talking about most heavyweight champions are older, like Sonny Liston. When you're talking about most heavyweights are older. That's what you realize.
You talk about Sonny Liston, right? You talk about Sonny Liston. Apology, hang on a minute. You talk about Sonny Liston, right? Name me one good win Sonny Liston has apart from Floyd Patterson, the fucking super middleweight, blowing up super.
Cleveland Cat Williams. Cleveland Big Cat Williams.
Please.
No, bro. No, stop.
No, how is that? How is that not a good man? You're going to give Ali a credit for that win, but you're not going to give Sonny Liston a credit for that win, even though he knocked him out 2 times. That's a good win. That's a good win. That's a good win, bro.
Credit for that win, bro.
No, you guys are tripping. If you
anyone would have
been, listen, Sonny Liston, time out, guys. Sonny Liston was a great fighter for his time. That you cannot take that.
Why are we comparing Luis Ortiz? Why are we comparing Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder to great fighters? Why? Why are we?
You just took my. That's exactly what I was going to say.
All right, Luis Ortiz.
I was going to say, listen, I give Wilder credit for the Luis Ortiz one, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I give him credit because I didn't even think he could win that. I'm being honest with you. I didn't think he can win that. I'm serious. I was wrong. And I was almost right at the same time. Okay, I thought that he was going to lose that fight. I don't say Ortiz is a bum. I'm not going to go that far. But Ortiz is not ever on, if that was the comparison of Sonny Liston or whatever, no, you cannot compare Luis Ortiz to Sonny Liston.
I'm not. I was
legacy. In terms of let me finish battle. Let me finish battle. What I'm saying is I think the fighters today are more technically sound and bigger and faster, that they probably beat all these old guys back in the days. I'm not saying wait, time out. Listen to me. Listen to me for a second. Lennox Lewis at 6'5", 245 versus Sonny Liston at 6'3", 2-something. What was it? 230, 220. The way he fought, there's a good chance that Lennox Lewis would have broke his face.
Lennox Lewis would smash Sonny Liston to pieces.
He would have broke. But
he would smash Sonny Liston to pieces. I've just asked my friend. He knows a bit about boxing. And I said, what has Sonny Liston done? And he says he beat Patterson twice and lost to Ali twice. That's what he's known for. I mean, come on, man.
Other than that, that's it.
Other than that, the guy was good because he was a mafia hitman. You know, that's why he's got a bit of a reputation for himself. But what did he do? Let's keep it real here. Ali schooled that guy.
Y'all making this out to be not what it is.
You guys been talking. Let me say something. You're saying 40. He's fought bums, right? Like, yeah, all heavyweights fucking fight bums. But the thing is, he has 40 fights, or what is it, 39 fights full of bums. And I understand your both sides' arguments, but because Wilder, for example, didn't have a long amateur career, so he started late. So I don't really blame him to having that many bums in his record. I don't, man. I don't blame him. No, I can't blame him. I mean, he has to grow. Yeah, I know, but he's still challenging somebody right now. No?
Wilder's got more bums on his record than Chavez Senior.
I know, man. That's the reason why people give him a lot of shtick. It's because of that.
He has more what?
Wilder has more bums on his record than Chavez Senior, and he had 100.
Nah, I don't know about that. Chavez Senior fought like 120 times, man.
Exactly.
He got like 70, 80 fights or something. I don't know.
No, he has like 120.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so like Wilder, I mean, he's got to prove himself, man. Like you can't compare Wilder to those guys yet. Yeah, you have to.
I was making a statement. The whole thing.
I know. I'm saying both sides, bro. Like both sides, not you.
The whole thing I was trying to make. The whole thing. Okay, it's fine. You know, the whole thing I was trying to make is these guys. We can express our opinions here, and I'm not just saying it's fact. But I'm saying, as my opinion, he wouldn't beat these top heavyweights unless he makes a big improvement. He wouldn't, because when you're talking about the heavyweights that moved up and beat like heavyweights, they were all-time greats. Evander Holyfield is probably the #1 cruiserweight of all time. Michael Spinks probably top 5 light heavyweight of all time.
No, he wasn't. Evander Holyfield was not the greatest cruiserweight of all time. By what measure?
Who's better than Holyfield?
Usyk's much better than him.
Yeah, he was undisputed, wasn't he? Wasn't he undisputed? How was he better than Evander Holyfield?
I'd like to answer the question.
Wow.
If that's okay.
Wow.
Right, thanks. Well, Evander Holyfield fought on the domestic American scene. He didn't really fight many foreign fighters. Usyk went all over the world, went into the champion's backyard. What? That's not an argument, is it? I didn't think so. Anyway, went all over the world.
Let Precise finish. Let Precise finish.
He did it in a shorter amount of time on the global scene. When Holyfield was fighting, the cruiserweight division was what, 3, 4, 5 years old. The limit was what, 190. There were light heavyweights the size of Sergey Kovalev and Andre fucking Ward fighting in that division. Okay, let's keep it real. And he fought a domestic scene for the most part, and Usyk did it all over the world, faster against people from America, people from all over Europe, and going into your backyard. And he did it in less time. He won his first title in less time, and he won. You can't really hold that against Holyfield because there were only 3 titles, I believe, available. But he does have that extra title, meaning he fought another.
I mean, Holyfield.
Okay, well, let me argue your point.
Holyfield went life and death with smoking Cooper. I mean, let's be real.
But then he knocked him out and broke his glove. He beat the guy so bad that his gloves broke and he got like a 3 to 5 minute rest, bro. He beat him that bad. I'm pretty sure his head almost got detached from the amount of uppercuts he threw.
But you don't get brownie points for that. You don't get like extra points for putting the guy in the hospital.
Burt Cooper gave people tough fights. He knocked down Michael Moore. So how is that? How is that like crazy?
You're giving them style points. You're not like really looking. You're giving them style points. So what?
I'm gonna tell you guys something. Holyfield. Let me say something. Holyfield is not. He's already proved himself. we can't just go ahead and compare Holyfield. You can't say no, honestly, skill wise, I see Usyk a better fighter than Holyfield.
Yeah.
But
fine.
That's
cool. That's
cool.
how can you?
Let me finish.
But you're not making any sense, bro. How can you not compare him when he beat Holyfield's records? How can you not compare him to Holyfield? What are you talking about?
I understand that shit, but I'm talking about as in like him as a cruiserweight moving into the heavyweight division.
Right, he hasn't done that yet.
He hasn't done it yet.
You're
That's
moving
the
the
thing.
goalposts then, because we weren't talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about cruiserweight
exclusively. So that's fine. That's great. But let's just
I admit
But let's just establish that you're not answering anything that I had to say or anything that Battle had to say.
I mean,
you're talking about Holyfield. You're talking about Holyfield at cruiserweight and heavyweight. Yeah, of course he's better than Usyk because Usyk hasn't proved anything at heavyweight yet.
Okay, look. This is.
Can I say something quickly? Can I say something? Just sorry if I interrupt anybody. The difference between what Usyk did and what Evander Holyfield did, I think, was definitely outlined by Precise. Cruiserweight is more established now, with more established fighters who are dedicated to fight at cruiserweight. Usyk beat that competition. Okay, he did it. Obviously, he did it on the road. Now, to go back to just the cruiserweight question, in my opinion, I think Usyk accomplished more. Therefore, he's the better cruiserweight because he accomplished more. Right? He unified. He did it in a international tournament. Okay, which is very rare to see nowadays, and he also did it in those people's backyard. Therefore, that makes him more accomplished at cruiserweight. Am I going to say that he's a better fighter than Evander Holyfield? I can't say that. Okay, skill wise, better. Okay,
I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that. I don't see how.
I was gonna say
I don't see how.
I agree with Precise with the foreign countries he goes to and all that stuff. I agree with that cruiserweight shit. I guess I moved the goalpost. I was talking about the heavyweight division.
Okay, so
he got nothing on Holyfield yet.
If you let me make that comparison. Yeah, first of all, you guys are comparing his career already at cruiserweight when he hadn't even left the division yet or retired. So that's a little point that got my little it got me that little exclamation point. What you see in anime is like what? But okay, fine, whatever. So
the cruiserweight division's a new division, right? It's a new division, and people will class David Hay as one of the greatest cruiserweights.
Of course, they do that. They do that with all people coming up.
Didn't he wipe?
Of course, he did. But I mean, there was still you can still make the comparison because as far as greatest cruiserweights.
Why is it not?
No, because if he would have beat like more champions and stuff like that, I would still say.
But hold on, can I say something? Yeah, of course, Usyk hasn't moved out of the cruiserweight division, but we know he's gonna do it. And by the way, even if he stays, who should he fight to continue on his cruiserweight legacy? I think it's already well established.
Who's gonna beat him at cruiserweight?
It's already well established.
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. It's time to move up. So I think we can conclude that chapter in Usyk's career, that cruiserweight chapter.
So we're talking about cruiserweights. When you're talking about Evander Holyfield, who did he beat when he beat? He did the exact same thing. He was the undisputed champion, and he beat the White Muhammad.
He wasn't undisputed. He was a unified champion, but I don't think he was undisputed.
No, he was undisputed. He was the only guy in history to go undisputed in two weight divisions. He's the only guy to do it. He was undisputed when he was undisputed. He beat Dwight Muhammad Quarry twice. He beat Carlos De Leon, and he beat that Parky guy. I don't know his name. I can't remember his name. Was Parky, and he was the only guy to be undisputed.
He was undisputed in the free belt era.
Yeah. But even then, that he was the undisputed guy. So the thing is, he was undisputed before he did it. And if you want to talk about, he did it faster, you can look at Leon Spinks and won his in his 7th fight. So that's no question. If you can beat one fighter and get undisputed, that's how stuff works. They can have that one caveat.
But he didn't do that though. He didn't do that.
No, it's a caveat. It looks like a caveat.
He beat a bunch of fighters in the tournament, but
but that's my point.
You could say that, but that's not what he did though.
No,
but he didn't do that.
I'm saying if you're comparing that, it looks like a caveat. It really does, because one fighter can beat one fighter with all belts. They can do that. So if you're talking about the best cruiserweight of all time, he did the exact same thing. He beat the best in the division.
So
how is he better?
Look, it is a difficult comparison, but you got to remember as well that Evander Holyfield and Dwight Muhammad Qawi was the last 15-round fight as well. So the parameters as well in terms of fighting for a title and getting those opportunities were very different. So comparing
almost beat
Holyfield, yeah, so getting the process of actually getting the titles. So the parameters are very, very difficult. So I do agree with that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then if you want to say skill wise he's better, I'll be like, fine, have your opinion. Even though I don't even think Evander Holyfield would struggle with the likes of Tony Bellew at all. But even with that being said, you're talking about you're talking about skill wise. You say he was skill wise. If you get that, then fine. I personally think if you want to make a criteria, you have to say that some fighters can be beat in their prime by certain fighters, and some fighters are going to have the number. But who would beat the most champions? And I would say Evander Holyfield would beat the most champions. But if you want to say he's better cruiserweight, you can have your opinion.
Bro, it's too early to tell. It's too early to tell.
Now it's too early to tell?
No. You're saying all-time great, right? You keep saying all-time great. Usyk has a career ahead of him. You're saying all time. Those guys have finished their career.
No. I'm saying you can actually, if Holyfield would have retired, he could still do that. He could still do that. If Usyk were to retire, he would be known as an all-time great.
Silence. Golden. God damn, it's pretty silent over there.
But what I'm about to say was, if Usyk were to retire or Evander Holyfield, he never went up to heavyweight. He would still be known as the top heavyweight ever as far as that division. Just like Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran would have moved up to if he never moved up and fought like Greg Leonard.
Yeah, but Battle. Let's give Usyk a bit of time to establish himself at heavyweight. The guy's not fought one. You're writing this guy off. This guy could go on to be a lot better. You don't know. You don't have a crystal ball. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. This is a talent.
I don't give Holyfield credit at heavyweight and say he's the best cruiserweight ever. It doesn't work that way. I said if Roberto Duran never moved up and he never fought Sugar Ray Leonard, he would still be known as the greatest lightweight. Just like Pernell Whitaker, if he never moved up and fought people like Oscar De La Hoya, he would be known as one of the greatest lightweights. So it doesn't matter if he fought heavyweight or not.
So Usyk, in your opinion, wait a minute. So in your opinion, Usyk is not one of the greatest cruiserweights ever?
Of course he is. I didn't say he wasn't. He wasn't better than Evander Holyfield.
I just wanted to say that I wasn't giving my opinion when I was talking about Usyk. I was using objective criteria, facts, and I wasn't giving my opinion at all as to who I think was better head-to-head. I was just looking at what they accomplished and how they did it, and I think my criteria was objective and not biased at all. Just wanted to throw that in. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a point there. He had a point there when he said the guy fought in foreign countries. Holyfield never fought in foreign countries. That makes a big fucking difference, bro. I mean, he could have got robbed with Bellew over here for crying out loud if he went 12 rounds.
Yeah.
But Battle Rifle, you talked about some lightweight champions. You talked about who was well. What about Joe Gans? He beat more champions than what even the modern day lightweights have done. So arguably he's the best lightweight of all time.
Of course. I didn't say he was. I said you look at people like Pernell Whitaker, and when you look at Roberto Duran, they're known as one of the greatest lightweights. Joe Gans still is one of the greatest lightweights. I didn't take him off that list.
Can I say something? I think that at least judging looking on the paper, I think that Usyk did more impressive work at a bit more. I mean, Holyfield was great, but to me, only the Muhammad Qawi fight was 2 fights. I mean, to me, he was the best next to Holyfield at the weight class at the time. And the way Usyk did it on the road, as the others are saying, to me, it's more impressive. And maybe those guys were not won't be remembering the boxing history, but fighting Bridis and the other guys, to me, it was impressive. And like who was that boxing style that was saying that he could be robbed. Yes, to me, this fight remind just two things. This fight kind of reminded me of that British fight, meaning that in the beginning, first half of the fight was close. They were they were going on and off. It was like a really close first half of the fight, and then the second half, Usyk took off. And I saw the British fight the same way. I was honestly surprised that the judges had it that close, because to me in the British fight, Usyk showed the difference and turned up the heat in the second half. And then again, the last thing I want to say is that you're talking a bit differently about this fight. Let's just see it this way. You're kind of, I don't want to say underrating Usyk, but I see a lot of people right now on the internet being worried about him and his future in heavyweight division because of this particular fight. And what I mean by that is that he lost first 2-3 rounds, and the rounds fourth and fifth round, it was close, but he got them. The only problem is that he took Bellew out in the 8th round. Imagine if it lasted all 12 rounds, it would be like 9-3 kind of fight. 9 rounds to 3. So we would be speaking a lot differently about this fight if it lasted till the last belt. But being that he finished Bellew in the 8th round, we are talking too much about.
Are people saying it was a close fight?
Of rounds that Bellew took.
Are people saying it was a close fight or what? No, nobody.
No, it wasn't close.
No.
I mean, okay, let me take that back. And some people had it 4-3, but I personally had it 7-1.
It was.
I gave Bellew 2 rounds. I can see him winning 3 rounds, but I had realistically, I had one
winning 2 rounds.
I had the first 3 Bellew winning 3-4, but it was expected.
That was my score. Yeah,
I gave him 2, maybe 3 rounds.
Only 2 rounds?
No, I gave him first 3 rounds.
Not you, the other guy.
I gave him 2 rounds, maybe 3. Where's my scorecard?
But that's normal.
I gave him the first 3 rounds. That's all.
But that's normal. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is such an elite boxer, right? He's an elite boxer, Floyd. Not always, but majority of his fights, he kind of loses his first 3 fucking rounds and shit. That's nothing bad, bro.
Similar to Crawford also. Yeah, I agree with you. Similar with Crawford. But sometimes he takes a long time.
It was starting to be a shootout.
Run away.
I don't see.
Those guys run away.
But I don't see Bellew only winning 2 rounds. I don't know, man.
How many rounds
you see, Rifle, you see what I'm saying? The thing is, right now we are talking about Usyk winning a close fight because it lasted 8 rounds. So most of the people probably gave 4 rounds. Oh, when you see the scorecards, they're saying of most of the people, boxing fans, they're saying 4 rounds for Usyk and 3 rounds for Bellew. And I think that every judge in the fight had Bellew winning, but if it lasted 12 rounds, it would be a different kind of story.
Hey, Recognize, what did you score?
Rounds.
I had it.
Go on, Matrix.
I'm sorry, Corruption. What was the question again, Battle?
What was your score?
Yeah, like I said, I didn't really score the fight because it was a little hard for me because I was at a party at the same time. But from what I saw, like 2 or 3 rounds, I didn't see him win any. Here's my question to you, Battle: how many clear rounds that there's no doubt he won?
Who, Bellew?
Bellew, no doubt.
No doubt. The first round. The first round, the second round,
First round.
yeah, the
No,
first round
was
first
no.
round.
Could
The
have gone
first
either
round,
way.
he landed like 2 or 3 body shots, and he tagged him in the face like 2 times. So I gave it to him. The
No,
second,
I'm saying like no doubters, no doubters.
Yeah, that was a no doubter, bro. Tim didn't do shit. What's his name? Usyk didn't do anything at that first round.
Okay.
He was just
I gotta look
trying
at
to
it,
figure
yeah.
him out.
All right, I gave it.
okay, the
all
first
right.
round, the second round, the third round, fourth round was kind of they kind of hurt each other. Fifth round, definitely. Sixth round was it was kind of hard because my face looked away from the screen for like a short time because I had a stream open and then a link popped up and I couldn't see the screen. So the seventh round, it was competitive. It was actually competitive. I kind of gave that to Usyk because, but you can make a case whether it's Bellew, what interchanging. Eighth round, that was a knockout. So, but I had it
Okay,
like
I mean, listen, that's the way I look at fights. The way I look at it is like, look, I'm not gonna argue your scorecards. If you can see like there's no doubt it wasn't even competitive at all, and you score that round for a certain fighter, and that's your scorecard, that's fine. To me, I had a hard time giving him like there was rounds. I agree. The first 3 rounds, I thought he won. I don't think he won all 3. No doubt. But I don't have a problem with somebody giving him the first 3. But I think from that point on, I think Usyk was always competitive and mostly winning in those.
You know something, Matrix. Now, you know one thing about Usyk now. Now, when you talk about a perennial slow starter, I mean, I watched Usyk in the Olympics. I was ringside for 2 of his fights. Even in the amateurs, he would end up losing pretty much the first round, come back second and third round. So he's had that consistency pretty much throughout his career. So for there to make the conclusion that he's outboxed the first 2-3 rounds, so what? I've seen it all his career. Makes no difference. It's all about who ultimately prevails, and he does. So
yeah, I mean, this wasn't Wilder Gerald Washington. You know, where Gerald Washington, the ex-football player, college football player, was actually beating Wilder. I mean, that's apparent. Here, you could see Usyk was working things out in his head. You know, he just didn't rely on.
Actually, if you look at that fight, if you want to say that's basically the same comparison because he knocked him out in 4 rounds. So if you say he was up on the scorecards, he only beat him by 3.
I'm sorry, but Wilder wasn't plotting. My God, are you really comparing Wilder to Usyk? What he did?
Dude, like why
just say it?
Why are you saying it like it's not different? That's the exact same thing.
Because it's not different at all.
No,
Wilder wasn't doing shit. As a matter of fact,
listen to what you're saying. You're saying that it's not a situation like Gerald Washington and Wilder, where Gerald Washington was beating him on the scorecard. Okay, so that's the exact same thing. If Usyk was losing,
what I'm saying is there were closer rounds, and actually, man, Wilder wasn't doing anything in those. He was losing those rounds clearly. Exactly. What I'm trying to say here is that Usyk was actually.
When Recognize said he said that he didn't see those rounds that way, but you saw the fight Gerald Washington and Wilder as a clear win for Gerald Washington, which is fine. I have no doubt what you're saying. I thought it was that way too.
How did you see that fight? Just to put things into context.
I have no doubt what you're saying. I said I agree with what you're saying, but you're doing the same. It was basically the same thing. If that fight,
just to understand your criteria for scoring fights, how did you have Gerald Washington winning those rounds, most rounds?
Let me finish. I said I agree with you. I said I seen the fight the exact same way, but it would basically be the same thing. If I said that I seen the fight that way, if he lost the first 3 rounds, according to you guys. Wait, let me finish. If Usyk lost the first 3 rounds, and we was talking about how Usyk comes back, he lost the first 3 rounds, and then if you're talking about Jared Miller, you're talking about Washington, it was clear as day if he was winning that he won the first 3 rounds. When he got knocked out in the 4th, it's the exact same thing. It's not different.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say here,
Washington is a bum, and Booker just stopped hitting.
But that's not
2 consecutive fights.
That is not the point. That is irrelevant.
No, I get what you said. Yeah, I personally, sorry, correct. I was gonna say, personally, I had Deontay Wilder losing that fight by disqualification for those freestyle punches. Man, I don't know what the fuck that shit was, but I just don't understand why anybody would be a Deontay Wilder fan. It's just fucking beyond me, man. I don't get it.
I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. I was talking about Wilder. He wasn't doing shit, but Usyk was actually in the fight. And there was a lot of close rounds. I only gave 2 clear rounds to Bellew. That's pretty much it. So that's why I made that comparison, because Wilder actually didn't do jack fucking shit. And I would actually be concerned if I was Deontay Wilder, even though he won the fight. I would be very concerned because he was fighting a bum, ex-football player, and he was clearly losing rounds. Now, in this case with Usyk, I am not concerned at all because yes, he did lose some rounds, but he was in the fight the whole time, unlike fucking Deontay Wilder. And you could see that he started accumulating rounds later on. He was going to be a shot-out, but
he knocked
because he's so good, he knocked him out on top of that. So it's a very different situation. Very different situation,
it looked like,
in my opinion.
Bucho, I would say this. It looked like a concussive knockout, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and Gerald Washington got stopped against a pillow-fisted arm puncher in Miller. Now, what does that say?
Yeah. It's not the same.
Miller was just smothering him.
So if we are concerned about
Usyk, these
Usyk,
guys are fucking boxers, even. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, kickboxer,
if people are concerned,
player,
how can a guy be pillow fisted if he's like 300 pounds, bro? You see how many punches he took?
All right, so hold on.
You're talking about
he's an arm puncher.
Yeah, I don't see that. He's 300 pounds and he took a lot of punishment. He's probably, if you look at CompuBox, Jared Miller actually lands the most punches at heavyweight. So I mean, I don't see it's accumulation effect that plays a part. So
yeah, he's 300 pounds and he's landing. I don't care if his punching technique is not all that great. It's still 300 pounds, right? So.
And he's throwing, and he lands the most at heavyweight, according to CompuBox.
Because of his work rate, it's got nothing to do with his punch power. It's
not punch power.
But it matters if you're getting stopped, doesn't it? Because it's accumulation effect. I don't care if you punch like Paulo Malignaggi. If I hit you enough times, you're going to go down.
I mean, but I think what they're trying to say, Battle.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Battle.
Yo, Battle. I got a question for you. Hey, yo, Battle. I got a question for you.
How does that not?
I got a question for you, Battle. Who you got? Usyk versus Jared Miller, whatever.
I probably got Miller. No. I was just joking, bro. I got Usyk. But like the thing is,
wait, I wouldn't be too sure about that.
Come on, bro. Come on. It's an easy target, bro.
I understand
about Bellew, bro. I mean, it's anything can happen, bro. I mean, if you're gonna laugh at this, then wasn't you the guy saying?
No, I got no. I'm not laughing at you picking AJ over Usyk or Wilder over Usyk or even if you say Tyson Fury over Usyk. I'm just saying Miller. Now I laugh at that one. Miller Usyk. that's gold right there, bro.
By the way, Battle, I agree with
that
you.
Crazy. No, I got Miller.
I think that when it comes to Anthony Joshua. For me, right now, that's the guy that I would favor over Usyk. I would definitely favor him over Usyk if they were to fight. But to say that he has no shot.
I take my prediction back. I got Miller. he's too big, man. I mean,
he's 300 pounds, right? But what I'm saying to you is, look, I'll go the opposite. I got Usyk over Miller, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that no, he has no shot of winning. He's fucking 300 pounds. He keeps coming. And I don't know. Anything can happen when you're fighting a guy.
Bro, he keeps coming. He's coming, but he's shorter, right? He's shorter, right? He's shorter than you.
No, he's 6'4". No, he's 6'4".
6'4". What's Usyk?
Around that height, 6'3".
Yeah, but it don't really matter because he's gonna keep him in the jab range, bro. It's just gonna be fucking ridiculous. He's gonna pop shot. I'm not saying he's gonna finish him because I don't know what will happen if he finishes.
Well, look.
But I say he pop shots him 12 rounds straight, bro.
I'm with you. I would probably pick. I would go with Usyk. I would go with Usyk over most of these guys. The only one that I see a problem, even Wilder, I see Wilder as a problem because he's awkward and all that. But in terms of boxing style, he's better than all those guys. He's better than all those dudes. I will favor Joshua over Usyk because there's some good technical boxing skills from a big man like that. Not as good as Usyk, but it's still good enough that you translate his size and all that. Then I'll probably give him the edge to beat Usyk. But to say that Usyk has no shot, I mean, that's stupid.
That's ridiculous. I know.
Yeah, come on, man.
I think Wilder has a better shot of beating Usyk than Anthony Joshua.
I'm
Wilder's
saying the same
faster,
thing,
more athletic, and
listen, like I said, I would take those guys as a serious threat to beat him. 100%. I would take him as a serious threat to beat Usyk. But this idea that because he lost a few rounds to Bellew, that means that he has no shot against none of these heavyweights, man.
If Tyson Fury is the way I'm assuming he's gonna be for this Wilder fight, I think he's the worst matchup for Usyk. The worst.
Absolutely, I agree.
You're talking about Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah, he's the worst matchup for Usyk. Hands down.
You know what? I didn't even take that into consideration. You're right. If he beats Wilder, with that kind of,
then they're gonna have a rematch, bro.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have a rematch. But if he beats him, like pretty easy.
Twice.
There's going to be no reason for me the second fight to not pick Fury to beat him even easier.
Yeah, let's all pray he does beat him, because fuck, man, Wilder needs to just go back to Alabama and stay over there.
I want him to go away because it's not so much him, even though he's annoying.
It's the fans. It's the Wilder.
It's like, get lost, man. This guy's not a great. I've heard people say this guy he's got underestimated great boxing skills.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he would beat Mike Tyson.
Right, he would beat Mike Tyson. He would have beat fucking Lennox Lewis. He would have beat both Klitschko brothers. Get the fuck out of here. Are you crazy?
They would all of them murder this guy.
Of course they would have, man. Of course. We know that.
Fuck.
We know that they would have murdered him. But I don't take nothing from Usyk losing a couple of rounds to an experienced, awkward rhythm at times kind of fighter. Look, he knocked him out, and that's the end. At the end, he still knocked him out. But
it wasn't like he just landed a punch and it was all over like Deontay Wilder, right? He shifted the momentum in his favor, started beating his ass, and then knocked him out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that.
That's when you know you're dealing with a very skilled, a highly skilled fighter. He knows how to break out of a rough start and shift, like you said, shift the momentum in his favor, and then beat you up and not, like I said, I think Bellew looked like he was slight concussion, if you ask me.
Yeah, great points, both of you. Yeah, he doesn't capitulate when there's any adversity presented towards him. He's supremely confident that over the long run he's able to break you down.
Corruption. He's a master puncher. The guy's a master puncher. That's what people don't. They get confused because he doesn't knock you out right away. The guy understands, if I keep punching, I'm in rhythm. Eventually, those punches are going to start turning into me sitting down on them, and I can knock you out. That's what
and somebody said before I left, something that makes no sense, something like that. When I mentioned that if I hit you enough times, you're going to go down. I don't know if you've been hit. I can throw a pebble at you, and it can be the smallest pebble in the world. If I keep hitting you with that pebble, it's going to hurt. Eventually, you're going to start bruising up. You're going to face start cutting up. You're going to start losing eyesight in one of your eyes. Your face is going to start swelling up. You're going to have hematomas on your face. Eventually, I don't care if you hit like Paulie Malignaggi. If I can hit you enough times, you're going to go down because all that build up from all that blood rushing to your face is going to hurt like crazy. If you look at any of Ali's fights, Ali wasn't the biggest puncher. Of course he was. He had underrated puncher power. He wasn't the biggest puncher. But what did he do to people's faces? Look at when he fought George Chuvalo. Look at when he fought Cleveland Cat Williams. I don't understand why people don't understand that. Gerald Mirza is an arm puncher. He's not the biggest puncher in the division. The biggest puncher in the division is probably 90 pounds smaller than him. So,
but George Chuvalo
100 pounds.
Chuvalo, he fought.
Yeah, 100 pounds. 100 pounds.
I mean, Chuvalo, he fought Ali, he fought Frazier, and he fought Foreman.
I'm not denying who he fought.
Hold on.
Let him finish. Let him finish what he's saying.
He fought all three of them, and he was never knocked down by either of them. That's how good of a team he had.
Yeah, of course he did. But look what he did to his face. I'm saying, look what he did to like his face. Like his face was just all just mustered up and cut up and everything. He was really hurt.
Look at Rocky Marciano's face as well.
Of course, Rocky Marciano has
his nose that was hanging off.
Those are intangible fighters. They have an intangible of having a great chin. They have the intangibles.
A lot of heart.
Look at Deontay Wilder's face in the Duwapa fight, man. Speaking of hematomas, man, look at Deontay's face. From a jab, from a feather-fisted fight.
That wasn't a jab. He actually got headbutted when he clinched him. That if you actually look at the fight, he actually got headbutted. He clinched the guy, and then he got headbutted. So it swelled up after he started putting on a little bit more pressure at the later.
So you didn't take any jabs in that fight?
No, I'm not saying that. I said he took it started swelling up more once he took a little bit more pressure. And he started getting pressured a little more. It actually started from a headbutt. Just like when Mayweather fought Maidana, that cut wasn't from a punch, it was from a headbutt. It opened up more once you start getting punched. So I'm saying, if you're talking about that fight, if somebody can hit you enough times, you will go down. It's very rare that people don't go down, like George Chuvalo. George Chuvalo never got knocked down in his career. That's an excellent chin.
I've seen Wilder go down from one punch, man. Like, it only takes one punch for Wilder.
That wasn't one punch, bro. That was an accumulation.
No, I seen him go down from one punch, man, from a fat ass bum.
That wasn't one punch, bro.
It was one punch.
You talking about the fat guy,
one punch from a fat bum, yeah.
Wilder got a suspect chin, bro.
Talking about
Wilder, you know
you're talking
Wilder
about
has?
when
Wilder
that fight
has bad balance.
He does indeed. I mean, I'm not denying it. He does have bad balance, but he wins because you can't deny it, bro. Power, it helps when it really helps when you're at heavyweight, bro. I mean, you can be the
I'm not gonna
be the sloppiest fighter.
Hey, battle! Don't be surprised if Fury puts Wilder on his ass.
That's what I'm predicting, man.
I'm not fully convinced that Wilder beats Fury.
No, I'm just saying, don't be surprised if he puts him on his ass. He's chinny. Wilder's very chinny.
And Tyson Fury isn't?
Not really, no. Not really. He's been rocked, but he's never been like finished.
Cunningham?
Yeah, the haymaker from Cunningham. The haymaker.
With Cunningham, what Cunningham did was, it's not a sneak attack, but it was like out of nowhere.
It was
a haymaker, yeah.
I mean, he got knocked down.
Yeah, but was he even hurt? Was Fury even hurt? How hurt was Fury though?
About Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder, he knocked him out, but he still got hurt, didn't he?
Cunningham hurt him and knocked him down legitimately, but it's just another cruiserweight moving up in weight and putting a big ass heavyweight on his ass.
Another cruiserweight. Well, it does win. That's my problem with Usyk. I don't know if he would win against the top heavyweight. I like Usyk, man. I really think he has skills, but I think he needs to really bring it. He needs to really bring it. It's not gonna the way he performed last night. He's not going to be able to do that against these heavyweights. It's not going to be a fight where he's just down on the scorecards. He's going to have his power bail him out against these top heavyweights. It's not going to happen.
But Evander Holyfield had the benefit of 10 years of human growth hormones to get into the heavyweight scene.
Exactly. I'm not even saying anything about that shit.
Usyk doesn't. That's what you fail to realize. He doesn't. How is that going to help him?
Well, let Usyk get more muscles and let him do his thing for 2 years and then.
Since we're on the topic, I want to go back to something I said before. Deontay Wilder, ever since he started doing VADA, he lost like 16 pounds, man. And that's right after he said, I'm about to put on 10 more pounds. And he actually lost 15 because he had to start. It just coincides with him doing VADA. So I'm wondering how much more weight is he going to lose before he fights Fury.
Any more weight, he's going to be a fucking cruiserweight.
If we're being fair, Canelo lost a lot of weight. Even though he tested positive, he lost a lot of weight when he started getting tested again after the VADA. He got popped twice. So I mean, that happens. You know, people can't put much stuff in their system anymore. The VADA page is like 3 pages long. Okay, I'm sorry. The VADA list is like 3 pages long, so they can't put anything in their body really. I think you've seen Canelo only have like the salt pills and like the weigh-in. But that happens with fighters once they really.
But I'm just saying, it's troubling to see Deontay Wilder go from 230, 235 to like 214.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
not good, man. Yeah, that's not
crazy.
good. That can't be. What? I agree with you, Precise. Like that can't be a fucking good thing when you're 6'7". You're fighting in a heavyweight division. That these guys are big. I mean, I think that, look, in my opinion, him being 230 would be the ideal way. Even that's kind of, slim.
The LDBC be talking about Andre Ward fighting, what's his name? Usyk right now. The LDBC guys is talking about Andre Ward fighting Usyk. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he probably could, come back and win. You never know.
I don't think he can beat him, bro.
Yeah, and why?
Even with the dirty tactics, he's not going to be able to beat him.
Nah,
Andre Ward is a bum that uses dirty tactics to win all of his fights.
Yeah,
he's not going to be able to push around somebody like Usyk.
He wins at the end of the day, bro. I mean, we can say.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he wins by wrestling people. Now he's going to have to be wrestling a guy that's 215.
Roberto Duran was the same way, bro. So.
Yeah, but Andre Ward, please do not put Andre Ward in the same sentence as Roberto Duran, please. Andre Ward is a cheater, man. That dude is just stay the fuck away from boxing, Andre Ward, please.
You guys have watched Boxing Alone, man. There's full of cheaters in boxing, man.
Yeah, I don't like any of them.
I mean, Sandy Sadler, you got Roberto Duran, you got Mayweather, man. You got.
But Sandy Sadler.
Justification here.
That's the guy that fought Willie Pep, right?
Yeah.
When they fought each other, Pep, it was okay. That was that you were allowed to. It wasn't. Let me say what I want to say, please.
No. You wasn't.
Please, let me just say what I want to say.
You yelling doesn't make your point better.
Yeah, I just want to say what I gotta say though. I'm tired of being interrupted. Back in those days, boxing in general was a lot dirtier. People didn't get disqualified. People, they got away with it. Nowadays, when Andre Ward fights somebody, he gets away with anything he wants. But you do something to Andre, and the referee's all over your ass taking points off of you. So that's the problem I got with the cheaters in boxing today versus the cheaters in boxing back in the day.
Hey, but
protected fighters.
I just want to say, even back then, those were illegal. Like stepping on people's toes, rabbit punching, that was still illegal. It was like it's some referees that just in it and they're out of it, in it and they're out of it. Like Robert Byrd, he refereed a good fight with Kovalev and stuff like that. When you look at people like what's the guy who refereed the second Kovalev and Ward fight? I forget his name. Tony Weeks. Tony Weeks, like he's one of those referees. I think he's a good referee, but he lets a lot of stuff go away for too long before he actually takes a point out. When you look at when he fought Adrian Broner and Sean Porter, it took him a long time to take a point away from Adrian Broner from all the excessive clinching. But let's be clear here. All the great fighters have got away. Lennox Lewis was dirty, but people forget that.
I never saw Golovkin fight dirty. I never saw Lomachenko fight. No. He got some tricks, but I never seen him fight dirty. I don't ever see Usyk fight dirty. I don't see.
Golovkin, when he fought Gabe Rosado, he was stiff arming, and he used his arm to.
Oh, come on, bro! Stiff arming, really?
Yeah,
that's
stiff.
It's illegal, but is that really dirty?
Right.
Is that really dirty?
So if everyone's
it's illegal.
Can we agree? Can we agree that there's levels of dirtiness though? There's degrees.
Of course, man.
Let's put because
Battle Rifle. Let me ask you this, Battle. Like, how many double leg takedowns do you allow a fighter to attempt in a fight before you give him a warning and take a point? How many double leg takedowns?
Like 8.
8, right? Okay.
Hey, by the way,
what about
that's like saying.
What if you see a fighter land 6 consecutive low blows and a couple more to the back? Do you take a point? Do you give him a warning?
Saying.
Come on, to say that Robert Byrd did a good job. I mean, you've really got to watch that fight again, bro.
That's like saying, that's like saying, hold on. Has anyone told a lie?
Because if you're looking at the fight when he was putting him in a headlock, so
guys.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man. It's like, well, all of us have told a lie in our lives, right? So are we all fucking liars? No, there's some people who lie all the time and fucking.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's easy to just get all postmodern and fucking relative and shit, but it's not the case, man. All right, some people actually abuse the rules of boxing. They bend them and even break them
because they're allowed to. I think in Andre Ward's case, there was a clear signal that he had a green light. He was using headbutts, elbows as offense, bro. Like there's a difference. There's a level. He's using that as part of his game plan.
Kidney shots like crazy. I mean,
yeah, the guy was a dirty fighter.
No, can we
Holden and
yeah, but Rifle,
really?
Sorry, but you just cannot compare. It's like comparing low blows to turning your back to your opponent. Both of them are not legal, but you have to be honest with yourself. It's not the same thing at all.
Honestly, I've been as long as I've been watching boxing, I've never seen anybody TKO somebody with nut shots, bro.
Yeah, and Andre Ward was the guy.
Yeah, that was the first time ever.
Actually, no. Roberto Duran. Roberto did that with Buchanan.
Cam Buchanan, he did that. He TKO'd him with a
ball shot.
Yeah. So that does happen. If you're talking about.
Oh shit! 1-on-1, me and Bucho. Let's go.
I'm not talking to you, man. Alright, where's everyone? We got Battle is here. Guerrero, did you talk, man? Guerrero.
No, I didn't say nothing. Actually, I got kicked out.
Oh man, I see you're driving. I can hear like the background noise. All right, maybe we should end the show. I don't know if people want to continue. If you want to continue, that's fine. Do you guys want to continue?
I'd like to say just one. Go on, Precise.
No, go ahead.
Oh, but I don't know if you won't mind if I talk just a bit about another subject, about Fury Wilder fight.
Well, we're gonna save that for later, but well, go ahead.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is that I've seen some. You've previously been talking about the clips of Wilder doing pad work with his trainer. However, some of those clips positively surprised me. They told me that Wilder is a very limited fighter, very technically poor, but he's doing some things right now in the preparation for the Fury fight that surprised me, honestly, that I've never seen doing. And so I just want to let people know to be aware of it, because every time you see him doing pads with his trainer, he's throwing 1-2, and then he started to implore the angles 1-2 and step to his right. Also, on the inside they were doing some inside work, and he was switching angles, etc. So I mean, he's not looking perfect. You know already how Wilder is. He's off balance and everything. But however, I just wanted to let you know about it. It's something to consider. So it would be very interesting to see it if he's going to use those techniques in the Fury fight. That's all.
Official, I've seen those videos. I've seen both guys' videos. I know that he's doing something different. I noticed it. But the thing is, those 1-2's got to land first before he does that angle. And Fury's not going to let that shit happen. He ain't going to make it land. And if he doesn't angle,
that's a good point.
It's no point. It's no point. You got nothing there.
He has to be like flat-footed like Luis Ortiz or these other heavyweights, slow heavyweights. So
that's
I don't know, man. Fury, he's gonna be moving the whole time, man. I don't see him landing on Fury. But we're gonna talk about that. Or unless you, let's talk about it on another show.
Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to add something about Nonito and the Burnett fight, because the video was released with Nonito landing like 3 massive left hooks, to Ryan Burnett's right side, and right after that, he goes into his corner and starts complaining about pain right there where he injured himself. So the theory that Recognized and I had about Nonito breaking him down to the body seems to be checking out. Just
I don't remember you guys saying that,
Where
but
can we see
okay.
that video precise?
Shit. Left hook. Just Google or YouTube left hook Nonito Burnett injury, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
They exchanged punches and Nonito dug a left hook right to the body and then got him on the ropes and landed a few more left hooks. And right after, in between rounds, Burnett is complaining to his to Adam Booth, talking about pain and how he can't throw his right hand, something like that.
Did you guys see Eddie Hearn's face after the Jesus Christ.
You can't trust Eddie Hearn, bro. His expressions, his face, you can't.
What
happened?
You could see the sadness, bro. It just didn't look right. Like, it was wrong.
You know, he gets knocked. He gets knocked out right in front of Eddie Hearn,
and he wants to give him a pillow.
And Eddie Hearn comes like it's like, you know, when anybody here have brothers?
Yeah.
Imagine seeing your brother go down. Like, you know, he's in a fight with someone, somebody just catches him, boom, and he goes down. He had that, like, oh shit, like, are you okay? Like,
photo op, let's go.
Precise.
What's up?
There is one other fact which sort of supports your theory. Now, according to Eddie Hearn himself, you know, Ryan, he visited the hospital and they did scans on him. There was no slip disc, no back injury, no sort of rupturing of the hip due to, you know when the fighter sort of overloads and misses and sort of ruptures or does damage to their glutes. So the pain and the injuries was consistent with a punch with no sort of recurring effects, if you know what I mean.
It was a massive left hook he landed, man. Like you couldn't even really see it because they were exchanging, but he dug that shit in, man. Guys, like if he gets past Tete Nonito, that is, Inoue is gonna be in trouble, man. That's all. Somebody gets knocked out in that fight, man. That's all I'm saying. And I think Nonito might beat Tete.
He's looking better.
Maybe we should end it, I guess, or any other topics that you guys want to discuss.
I'm cool.
Hey, you guys... I'm sending you a picture right now of Eddie Hearn's face when.
Hey! when this guy gets... The number one fighter in fighting today is Nai Inoue.
What was that? I didn't hear that.
The number one fighter in boxing today is Nai Inoue, bro. Put some respect on his name.
The number one boxer.
No, yeah, Inoue is the number one fighter in the sport.
Bro, he's better than Usyk. He's better than Terence Crawford. He's better than Lomachenko all put together.
Definitely.
Oh, no, Inoue.
Trolling.
What?
How am I trolling? The dude is a beast.
You trolling, man. Come on.
I'm a huge fan of his, but no, he hasn't.
I like him
proved,
too. I like him too, but he needs to, you know.
He's one of my very favorites at the moment, but he hasn't proved 30% of what they show us.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in his 115 stay.
I'm a huge fan, but there is no way you can say that. Jumping from Adrian Hernandez at 105, missing out 108, where there was 4 killers, they're going straight to sort of 150.
Loma's resume can be broken down too, but that's not the place. We're going to spend too long on the subject. So,
but at 115, he didn't fight any prime fighter. He beat a 42-year-old Argentinian to win the belt. Didn't fight any of the other champions. Cleared out the old Japanese guard and then moved up to 180. So that is not a pound for pound resume thus far. But he's got talent and ability, and we'll see. But so far, absolutely no.
He hasn't proved. I mean, he's proved more than an average fighter, and he looks great. He looks dangerous and super powerful. But yeah, I can't put him up there. Not based on resume, but if you think he's the best, well, he better prove it.
By the way, I posted the screenshot that Recognize gave me. You can see Well, you can see a very sad Eddie Hearn there.
Yeah.
Wait, don't take him down just yet.
You know he's the truth.
Gotta see this.
The funny thing is, every other fight he had a smile on his face. This one, jam.
It looks like a Renaissance painting
really
or some
bad,
shit, man.
bro. Like you can see it.
It looks like a Renaissance painting, man.
Oh shit! The cruiserweight fights are on right now.
Oh yeah, the Brady's against a German guy.
Just to let you know.
Recognize.
Yes, sir.
You follow Puerto Rican fighters, don't you?
It depends. Like it depends on who he is. Like if he's
Have you come across a fighter who's like a bit of a freak of a nature? He's like 5'10", 5'11". I think he fights at 140 pounds. Almost got a 100% knockout ratio, but he's definitely one to watch. It's got a bit of a weird name. It's Matisse.
What is his name?
Sounds like Machado. You talking about Macias?
Subriel Matias.
Macias lost, bro. He lost to Soto Caraz.
Macias.
No, I'm not talking about him.
What's his last name? What's his
Matthias,
last name?
I think it's Matias.
Machado?
No. He's
Macias. Macias. Nico Macias.
No. Nico Macias is from Kansas. I know who he is.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about a Puerto Rican fighter. His name is Subriel Matias. He's only 11-0, but he's definitely a fighter to watch.
Can you spell his last name for me?
I think it's Matias.
Matias, yeah, Matias. That makes
sense. Subriel.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
I'm gonna check him out.
Is he the next Trinidad?
Who's that Puerto Rican fighter?
Is he the next Felix Trinidad?
Is promoting that one, that lightweight.
Felix Verdejo?
Yeah, that guy not knocked out his opponent.
Yeah, he got knocked out.
No,
Felix Verdejo got knocked out again?
No, that one time.
No, I'm saying he knocked out his opposition in the first round. Like I think it was last week. I think Puerto Rican Cotto is promoting him.
If
it was last week, then it wasn't Felix Verdejo.
No, I'm not saying it's him. I'm just saying
somebody else.
Puerto Rican boxing needs to step up.
I know he did.
12-0, 12 knockouts, man.
I never heard of this guy. Subriel Matias. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
This guy's last sort of first round knockouts were vicious. I'm telling you, he's got some ability, this kid.
You're still 5 hours.
Guys, what are your predictions for tonight? Glowatsky, Vlasov, and Brady's Gerbo.
How much is it? Huh?
Yo, Barlow, we can hear what. Can you mute your mic, man?
Christ.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Lado, stop making deals over the phone.
Yeah, what the hell? It's like.
It's me?
What the hell?
Vlasov Glowatsky is not an upset, man.
Yeah, I'm predicting Vlasov by KO somewhere between 7th and 10th round.
When is that fight? Glowacki and Vlasov.
Like half an hour, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. The card is on right now.
I'm fucking lost, man.
Should we? All right. What do you guys want to do? I'm gonna watch the fights, so you guys can keep talking.
Was the guy I wanted him in that fucking tournament, man. That was the only nitpicking, situation that I had with the tournament the first time.
Yeah, he was going through a divorce, so there goes that.
Who are you talking about, Glowacki?
Yeah, he's been having some issues. personal issues.
Yeah, oh, well, I didn't know about that, but I saw what I think I saw some American boxing fans being huge right now on Glowacki, but the thing is, I saw his last couple of fights. He's been
looked
looking
like shit.
terrible. Yeah. For example,
The
against
knockout was bullshit against that guy.
or Rudenko, the Ukrainian, he knocked him down and he was looking terrible. And I think that American boxing fans are kind of not really huge on Glowacki, but they're remembering that good fight against Hookie that he had in the US 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
While of Vlasov, they're sleeping on Vlasov because he's a pretty good boxer. He knows to manage the distance well. He has a nice straight right, and he was looking good against Chakiev and Durdola. So I'm predicting a KO for Vlasov.
I wouldn't be surprised if he won. I don't know about KO, but
Yeah, I found the name. It's Alberto Machado.
Yeah, Machado. No, he's not talking about him.
Oh, Machado.
Machado, man, he's got talent, bro.
Machado's good. He's good. Little chinny, but he's good. Got power.
There's another Puerto Rican who had him.
I don't know if Burchell or Tank Davis.
Who do I think will win? Right
I
now?
don't know if he would. I was saying, me personally, I don't know if he would win against those two.
Oh, Machado.
But I would love to see it. Nah, bro. Against Tank, I wouldn't say it's a definite or Burchell.
Tank
I got
is all
Machado.
about discipline. Tank is all up to me. To me, Tank is it's all about discipline for him.
Well, yeah, that is true, but
he's the most he's the most talented out of those guys. Excuse me, he's the most explosive out of all those guys.
I got Machado over Tank. I'm being real.
I would like to agree with you on that, but I think if Machado he gets caught with some shit from what I've seen, he'll go down, and he might stay down.
He got good defense, man. I don't know about that.
I haven't seen a lot of him, but he's good from what I've seen. And he's also big. He was kind of big against Evans. He was looking huge. I don't know about his weight, but in fact, it was only the second fight that I saw from him. But he's technically sound and he packs a good punch. Right now, I don't know against that Floyd's guy.
Tank.
Yeah.
Tank is undisciplined. He might get fucked up by guys like that.
Against Pedraza, sorry for cutting you off. I just wanted to say that against Pedraza, he blew his load off. He was gassed after the first 3 rounds. He was throwing huge haymakers, and then the next 4th and 5th round, he was looking terrible to me. Luckily for him, he caught Pedraza, who was fighting, who first of all is kind of overrated, and secondly fought a terrible fight from the
he came forward and I never seen him come forward such in a straight line like that until that fight.
Yeah,
he got a bonus from Floyd to do that, probably.
You think so?
Probably.
That was terrible. But that game plan was terrible, whatever it was.
Who's Floyd fighting next?
I mean, I don't know if it's only Machado beats Burchell either. Burchell got them skills, man.
Machado got good timing, bro. Great.
Did you see what he did with Roman?
I forgot. I don't know. I just forgot the guy's name. He fought this last fight, but he showed me great time.
Guys.
And Miguel Burchell really.
Oh, man.
What about Floyd fighting the midget, man?
But I heard he's back. He backed off that fight.
He did. I don't know.
That fight's not happening, bro.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened with Floyd. This is what. Oh man, I'm hearing an echo. I was gonna say.
Gone now.
It's gone. No. Okay, I'll keep it like I'll stammer a little bit. With Floyd, what happened was he signed that. It's an exhibition match, but in reality, it was a MMA fight, a real MMA fight. We're trying to make it into a boxing match, and the Asian dude, he refused to make it a boxing match, and he's like, "Okay, then fuck that. I'm not fighting you." That's exactly what happened.
No, Floyd was on the understanding that the guy was going to fix the fight, but he's a big deal in Japan, Rising Promotions. There was no way he was going to take a dive to put Floyd Mayweather over. That's why that deal collapsed.
Well, you may never
that
know.
sounds more logical.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah.
Well, it may be it, but also I'm taking the other possible angle. It could be as simple as just doing some promotion for a reason, because I heard that they're in some financial trouble. So I think maybe they never intended on really fighting each other. It was like it may be just a story for
publicity stunt.
Publicity stunt. Yeah, maybe.
But the company itself. The company itself, Rising, doesn't have any cash flow turnover problems. They're a massively growing entity over in Japan, Far Asia, and they're going to be going Philippines as well, Indonesia. So
yeah, but I heard
Rising was Go ahead.
Go on. No, never mind.
You want me to go? Okay. Rising was offering him like $100 million to fight this kid, and that's why Floyd's eyes went like, "Oh, money went over there." But the thing is,
he watched some tapes of the guy, and he's like, "Fuck this."
Exactly what happened.
I ain't getting kicked in the head.
He saw them highlight reel kicks. He said, "Oh no, this dude will lay me
Probably.
the fuck out, man."
You've seen some of these dudes how they fly through the air, man. Come on, Floyd's too old for that shit.
Yeah, Floyd's too old, bro. I know this. I know there's still this fantasy for Floyd being like the baddest man on the planet. Get the fuck out of here, man.
He would have got his punk ass kicked.
I think Guerrero's on. Guerrero, what's up, bro?
No, I was just gonna say Floyd didn't want to end up being that kid's neck.
Say again, you broke up.
Sounds like he's on the road or something.
Yeah, he's driving.
Okay.
It's Guerrero John Gonzalez.
John Gonzalez seems to be a Filipino, from what I remember.
Nah, he's Mexican, I think.
Oh, he's Mexican? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Whatever,
they all look alike.
I meant to ask Paul when he was on earlier, but all the British guys fucked off, I guess. But anybody used to watch Boxing Gossip?
Boxing Gossip?
Yeah, British YouTube boxing channel, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
What happened
Rings
to
a
the
bell.
dude, man? He just like disappeared 5 or 6 months ago. Nothing.
Yeah,
Just
he went. I think he went Spain or somewhere. He's somewhere over there.
Oh.
Not sure whether he's going to go back to his channel. I knew somebody who knew Gossip when I was back in the UK, 4 or 5 years ago, and he chats to some guy who still runs a channel now. Occasionally, Gossip used to go on his channel as well, but he hasn't indicated whether he's going to go back and recontinue his channel. So he's still taking like an extended sort of sabbatical.
Because I used to check out his Hangouts, and Abstract used to be on there quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was decent. It was pretty good. I was just wondering, but yeah, it is what it is.
All right.
Yes, sir.
If there's nothing else, then I'll end the show. Because there's boxing right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch some boxing. So
this is like Bucho's 11th time he's saying you're going to end the show, bro.
Yeah, I know.
For real this time.
All right, we're going to end it.
You all have a good night, man. Enjoy the fight.
All right, man.
Hey, Bucho,
take care, man.
I don't know who's in charge of the checks, but I haven't gotten my money yet, so you will be.
I left it in the BDA cafeteria.
I'm doing something while listening to you guys.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
All right.
See you guys.
Peace to everybody, man.
Guys, don't forget to clean up that don't forget to clean up the BDA cafeteria, all right? It's so fucking dirty. All right. Take care, guys. And in the chat... Whoa. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for having a civilized debate. I know there were some, some arguments going back and forth, but we kept it at a civilized level. We didn't go crazy like yesterday. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining us. We'll likely see you tomorrow, and BDA should be hosting. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night.
Great show, guys.